Good morning, pop culture. We are live. It is Tuesday, July 3rd, 2018. It's 7:45 in the morning, and we're here to discuss another day of pop culture. Now, today is a red letter date in the history of entertainment because July 3rd, 1985 is the the release date of my favorite film, Back to the Future. So we're going to talk about Back to the Future, but we're going to talk about anything we want on Good Morning Pop Culture because that's how it's always been and that's how it'll always be. So good morning to everyone that's wishing me a good morning. Hey, it's going to be a good show today. Well, it could be nighttime depending on where you are in the world. Maybe our Australian listeners are like, hey, this is my pre-bed entertainment. And there you go. A lot of happy people here this morning. Thank you, Charming Curmudgeon. Hello, Logan Michael. Thank you for your super chat. I greatly appreciate it. By the way, folks, I have a huge announcement to make as soon as we hit 200 viewers, and you're all going to love this. So be prepared. Yeah, Christian Stileski, if that happens, I'm going to be the first person up for tribute in your massacre. Trust me. I don't want to live in a world where Back to the Future gets remade. For me, and I'll get into it a little deeper later on, it's the best movie ever made. And I don't want to see it. It doesn't need to be remade. The beauty of Back to the Future and the one thing that keeps it from being dated is that it takes place specifically in 1985, and it was made in 1985. So it can't be dated in terms of what they were trying to appeal or create or do because, it was current era. And then they go back to the 50s. So Back to the Future 1 is not dated and can never be dated. Part 2, well, it's a futuristic version of what they thought 2015 could be, and we'll talk about that a little later. Lime Green Hulk, I can get a P.O. box. That'd be something I could look into. Then I could do videos of people sending me stuff. That would be fun. No, I did not knock up a Canadian hooker. I apologize. Don't worry, though. My news is better than Winston Smith's guess that I'm pregnant. I have that video game of Back to the Future. I have it for the PS3 and the PS4, and it's a fantastic game. It's really great to hear a lot of the voice actors come back, and the guy that they got to play Marty did a great job. So I love that game. All right, Pete Gilmore, you definitely have the best thing. You have burgers, beer, and bullshitters. I got coffee and donuts. Actually, I just had a donut because I don't, want to eat too much sugar, but that's just me. So, Doc Brown gets killed by his son. D. Pensac, you're a local. Oh, Logan Michael, that is terrible, terrible news. So Logan Michael said this. First off, thank you, Logan Michael. Last night, my cat knocked off my blue snaggletooth and it cracked. Ugh, that is rough. If that was me, I wouldn't have a cat or a blue snaggletooth anymore. But honestly, I'm sorry for your loss because I'm a collector. I couldn't imagine losing something that pricey. It's, blue snaggletooth, guys, is a rarer. It's one of the rarest Star Wars figures. I wouldn't say it's the rarest, but let's see. Logan Michael, I actually thought of you yesterday. I was out to dinner and I was looking at my phone for a minute on Facebook, and somebody had what I think is the rarest Star Wars toy. It was a licensed and then unlicensed Han Solo. No, Luke Skywalker. No, let's rephrase it. It was a Princess Leia and Darth Vader blaster set. And you can look those up. They're really, really rare. I think they were only released in Canada, but they're really, really expensive. So if Rian Johnson directs a Batman movie, I think Dion will remove Zack Snyder as his most hated director and replace him with Rian Johnson. So, let's see. By the way, Hernandez, I love your comment. Once this baby gets up to 200 views, we're going to see some serious shit. We're almost there. No, Billy, I did not watch Ethan's stream. I was busy. I support Ethan and Jeremy, but I didn't have time. I don't really have a lot of time to watch their live streams. I guess, you know what? Press F if you guys want me to reveal what I was actually doing last night, because it's, for the channel. Yeah, ADP 98, I'm younger than the movie, too. I caught the movie. I'll tell that story in a moment. So I'm waiting to see some Fs. Davey, I'm glad that you've made it to a live stream. I'm very happy that you found us. Okay, there are the Fs. Okay, the delay. Well, guys, what I was doing last night was for you. I was getting the episode of World Class Bullshitters for this Thursday ready because, as I've said before, with the holiday and my mom's birthday, I'm not going to be available to do an episode on Thursday night. So instead of having a gap, making you wait and not explaining it, the guys and I got together and we recorded a very, very good episode of World Class Bullshitters. So that's going to hit here on YouTube Eastern Standard Time. And then it's going to be over on iTunes, Stitcher, Podbean, and all of our other streaming services right away. So on Thursday night, make sure you just listen to World Class Bullshitters episode 130 because we reveal a very special piece of news. You know what? I think I'm just going to tell you guys now. We got accepted to go to a convention very, very soon, a big convention. So World Class Bullshitters is going to be at a show in Indianapolis. So if you guys are in the Midwest region and you can make it to Indianapolis on August 24th through the 26th, World Class Bullshitters is going to be live at Horror Hound. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm using it as like the proto Star Wars celebration thing. So it'll be me, Dion, Kendo, Nick, and Channel Dad Brian Lape. And we're just going to hang out. We're going to give away some free stuff, spread the word of World Class Bullshitters in person. I bought a table 3 or 4 months ago, and they just finally got back to me. So I've been waiting a long time, and now it's officially confirmed. I got a hotel. I got everything taken care of. So we're going to have awesome, and we're going to do live shows. Oh, Jeff, the Iron Wolf, lives in Indy. Well, Jeff, you should come find me because this Jeff is going to be hanging out with everybody, and we're going to be drinking. It's going to be a good time. So I think it looks like the title of this video is keeping people away from clicking on it because it doesn't say Star Wars. So instead of waiting to hit that 200 number, I think we're just going to get ready to start. B-Natter's going to be there too? All right, well, I'll let you guys know exactly how we're going to do this the closer we get to the show. I guess I should tell you soon because the show's in a month. So it's not going to be a very long time. Well, ADP 98, the Bullshitters will be in New York in April before Star Wars Celebration. So if you're in the city, come find us. Yes, Cesaro Japan at a World Class Bullshitters drinking party. It'll probably be at the bar because Dion knows that RoboCop is going to be there, the actor Peter Weller. So Dion's going to be glued to that guy's hip trying to hear crazy stories and stuff like that. Dion was freaking out when I told him we got accepted and who was going to be there. By the way, folks, Bruce Campbell's going to be there. Freddy Krueger, Robert Englund's going to be there. Peter Weller, the guy that plays RoboCop, is going to be there. Kane Hodder, who plays Jason, is always there, but you know what? He's going to be there. If I run into 50 Cent, that would be awesome. I love his vitamin water. Now, Hernandez, you posted something. Oh, okay. Calzone Endor. Cool name. Great work, guys. Keep it up. Thank you, Calzone. I appreciate it. We've definitely had a lot of positive feedback over the last, 7 months at this point. It's been a really great year. And if you've noticed, I've been putting out more and more content all the time. So I'm excited to do this stuff. I don't get burnt out. I don't get tired. I'm just very happy to be doing World Class Bullshitters full time. And, because we have an audience, it just makes it worth it even more. So, Hernandez, you mentioned there was beef between Captain Cummings and EVS. If anybody wants to tell me what happened in the stream, honestly, I'm not going to go back and watch it anytime soon because I got videos to make and we got the High Council tonight. So, if anybody wants to tag me in the thing, I'll gladly check out what was said and comment on that. Please, Johnny 5 definitely will come to the UK. That's not true, Kevin. You must have just clicked on. So, good morning. I don't know what happened either, Logan Michael. But yeah, we'll come to the UK one day. That'll be a lot of fun. It seems like there's a demand, so there'll be like 9 people there meeting us. We'll fly, what is it, a 14-hour flight or something to get there and hang out with 9 people at a pub, pass out, and come home the next morning. Actually, no, we wouldn't come home the next morning. Well, ADP, you let me know how things turn out, and we'll gladly make it happen. It won't be all the bullshitters. It'll be some of us, half of us. But, Shots were fired. I guess I have to look at it. I don't really get into the drama too much, but I do have something cool to tell you guys. I have been contacted by Midnight's Edge, so there's going to be... Oh, okay, Frank. Thank you. So Frank says that Captain Cummings thinks Ethan is becoming a gatekeeper and becoming like the comics pros. Huh. Huh. I'm reading Johnny Five's thing. That's kind of weird. I'll have to I'll be talking to Ethan tonight, so I'll ask him what happened. That's crazy though. I mean, I thought Captain Cummings, like I always thought my channel and Geeks and Gamers and Ethan and Captain Cummings and Diversity in Comics and a couple other guys were all cool. I'm sure it'll all get worked out and it's not the end of anything like that, but you know. But yeah, there's a lot of I am drama free. There's no reason to be drama or have drama. I'd rather hang out with you guys and talk about entertainment. Logan Michael, thank you for your super chat. Will you come to Texas again? There isn't a weird guy with AIDS in my area. I always say I've never had a good time in Texas, but Logan Michael, when we return, I'm expecting you to change that. As of now, in 2018, it won't be happening, but we'll keep it open. There's a convention called Texas Frightmare, and I'll see if the applications are open. Before, when I was trying to work these shows, I was just an artist that no one had heard of. Now I have this channel with 62,000 subscribers essentially and tons of listens. So I'm sure everyone could get together and request us at any convention. And if people will let us be there, thankfully we have stuff like Patreon to cover those costs, and we can really appear at places and spread the word in person, because we're a lot more fun in person than we are behind a microphone. But yeah, I'm excited that people are happy that we're going to do a Midnight's Edge thing. He reached out to me because I mentioned something in a video, their solo video. So I'm going to contact Andre again and say, let's work something out, man. So we'll have that here on the channel. I don't know if he'll be on a high council that appears here on the channel. I don't know if he'll appear on a separate live stream, or if even if it will be a live stream. We don't know yet. So Hernandez, I just guess he'll be coming to World Class Bullshitters. I don't know about the other guys from Midnight's Edge, and I don't know about the other guys in the High Council or what. But what I'm thinking might happen is might be actually World Class Bullshitters proper and Midnight's Edge getting together. Let's see. Do you think since Star Wars is not adding anything to cinema nowadays, they should movies of Warhammer 40K? I don't know anything about Warhammer 40K. I'm sorry. Billy Ritchie Doomcock will be on the High Council tonight, so there you go. What does EVS mean? It means Ethan Van Sciver. That's how he would sign his comic books, his little EVS. Logan Michael, thank you for your super chat. I just went to Texas Frightmare. It's fun. I wanted to go, but I got denied. But I'll check it out one day. I do like horror conventions because it's just a lot of drinking. The crowd there isn't really receptive to people like me, Dion, or Nick, but that's okay. We're not going to let that ruin our good times. Ooh, Charming Curmudgeon, send me a link to your DeviantArt page. So, guys, we're really, really close to that 200 mark, even though I said I was going to wait. I wasn't. We were just talking about stuff. Let's talk about, for a moment, my favorite movie that turns 33 today. So, Back to the Future. And if you haven't seen Back to the Future, who the hell are you? Why the hell are you even listening to this? Go get yourself a copy. It's available on every format. You can stream it for $2 or $3 or rent it or whatever the hell you want to do. All I know is that you need to get a copy in front of your eyes as soon as possible, because I mean this. It is probably one of the best made films overall. There aren't any real plot holes. Any kind of plot hole people just try to pull out from what about this and the time travel and stuff like that. It's a very linear type of time travel. There's not all these weird Doctor Whovian style things that they go into. It's a very basic timeline. Go forward and back. It's very basic. It's very simplistic, but it's really not. The time travel is just more of a backdrop for a drama between, boy meets girl. Girl happens to be his mom. Boy accidentally keeps himself from being born and has to make sure his parents get together to make him. So it's more of a family drama and romance than it is just strictly science fiction. I actually consider Back to the Future a comedy more than anything else because it's hilarious to me. So it was a huge success. On a budget of $19 million, it made $381 million. That's before adjusted for inflation. And I'm not really going to tell you about the plot of the movie outside of Marty McFly gets sent back to 1955 in a time machine that crazy old Doc Brown built. He prevents his parents from meeting. Therefore, he would be erased from existence. And he has to go about his way to make sure they do get together. And in between, hilarity ensues, and he creates a better future for himself and his parents. Now, in the comments section, press F if you've ever seen images or the few seconds of Eric Stoltz, the other guy to play Marty McFly. I don't know if everybody knows this, but Michael J. Fox, while he was the original choice for the movie, he was not the first person cast. Eric Stoltz was cast, and they filmed for, I believe, 6 weeks straight. And then it just wasn't working. They fired him, but they kept everyone else, and they essentially reshot the movie with Michael J. Fox. And there's maybe one scene where Eric Stoltz can still be seen, and that's when a fist hits Biff in a close-up shot, because Thomas F. Wilson himself said that he doesn't remember reshooting that scene. So Back to the Future was going to be a lot different had Michael J. Fox not come in and essentially saved the picture, because that was really his big moment in the 80s. It made him a bigger star. He was on Family Ties, I know that, but Michael J. Fox really transcended television when Back to the Future came out, and basically he was just waiting for Family Ties to end so he could go out and make the movies that he needed to make. So he made the rest of the Back to the Future trilogy. He did Frighteners, Secret of My Success, Doc Hollywood, Teen Wolf, which actually was made before Back to the Future. I just love Back to the Future so much. Logan Michael, thank you. I have the shitty LJN game. I have played the shitty LJN game. It's terrible. I think the word shitty should come before everything that LJN ever made, with the exception of the Incredible Crash Dummies toys, because those were a lot of fun. But LJN made shitty Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom toys. LJN made shitty everything, like the angry video game nerd said. Laugh and joke and numbnuts. That's what they stand for. I didn't know that, Frank. I've only seen one episode of Fringe. So what Frank said is there's in the show Fringe from Fox, there's an alternate universe where Stoltz remained as the main lead in Back to the Future. That is one of two things that I would love to see. Now, this is where I want you guys to get involved in the chat. Tell me other versions of movies or media that you'd love to see that you know exist. For example, I'd kill to see all the Eric Stoltz scenes from Back to the Future. That, to me, would be like the ultimate thing. Close after that would be the alternate cut of Star Wars. That does exist. It's not a secret thing. It's very public that there's another cut of Star Wars. It just has never been released. I think with Lucasfilm wanted to help the shit show that is The Last Jedi be erased from our minds, they would just release that in the original trilogy and just be pumping out stuff that people really want to see, and kind of, you know, instead of using Kelly Marie Tran as a distraction, use like, hey guys, remember Star Wars, the movie you love? Here's an alternate cut that's never been seen, only from Disney, that type of thing. Even maybe I would be like, oh shit, I gotta see it. But I would love to see all the Eric Stoltz footage released and remastered to where they could just basically make as much of the movie possible with Eric Stoltz. Okay, somebody wants to see Gareth Edwards' full version of Rogue One. That comes from Calzone Endor. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. I have not seen a 70mm blow-up of Back to the Future. I would love to. Billy D becomes Two-Face. No, all the Eric Stoltz stuff is not on the 30th anniversary Blu-ray. It's only a few scenes, like a few clips, and Bob Gale and Robert Zemeckis are kind of talking over it. It's the one scene where he looks at George, who's eating in the Lou's Diner, and then there's a scene where he's like walking across the street when he's dazed that he didn't realize it was 1985. Yeah, all the Eric Stoltz stuff hasn't been released. Believe me, I'd have known. I've spent many hours looking for shit, especially once the Blu-ray was out, and I didn't get it right away. So I do own the Blu-ray. It's right next to me. It sits before Ghostbusters and after Zombieland because I put my box sets after my single releases. It's just how I am. The alternate cut of The Last Jedi that isn't an absolute dumpster fire. Oh my god, I love this one. Terminator 2 from Last Action Hero starring Stallone. Big. Dion, Eric Stoltz was not robbed. Shut up. He went to make... He was in what? Mask and Pulp Fiction and stuff. So Eric Stoltz had a career, not as good as Michael J. Fox, but and again, who really did? Cesaro Japan, thank you very much for your super chat. There was also a Back to the Future game for the Commodore 64. I did not know that. I'm gonna check that out off air because I'm gonna see the footage. I knew they made like a weird Amiga PC Beverly Hills Cop game that I wanted to buy, but I didn't because it was like $70. But I still really want it. Dion, press F if you want me to go buy that game. But I'll have to check that out. A Commodore 64 Back to the Future game. Now, Back to the Future, I do love it. I collect a lot of stuff from the movie, but I don't go, ham like I do for other stuff. I have like 40 DeLoreans, and then I only have like one Marty doll. Yeah, Pete, maybe for the 4K release, they can do all the Eric Stoltz footage. I'm going to buy that movie in 4K and 8K and whatever other Ks they release throughout time because it's my favorite thing. There's never, to me, too much Back to the Future unless it's a remake. I don't ever. There's no need to. The story's perfect the way it is. Ooh, Juan, you have good taste. Now, my introduction to Back to the Future is funny. Like a lot of people that were alive in the 90s, I got movies from McDonald's. And if you're younger and you don't know what that means, back in the day, McDonald's used to sell you a VHS tape with your value meal for like, was it $2 or $3? So you could get stuff like Back to the Future, Top Gun, Addams Family, Wayne's World. That's how I got into Wayne's World because my mom bought it for me at McDonald's. I don't know why I picked that movie as a little kid, but I did, and it's one of my all-time favorite flicks. But Back to the Future was a film that I got from McDonald's, and I watched it all the time. That was one of the first live-action movies that was in my constant rotation. Between cartoons and Power Rangers, Back to the Future was still there, and it still is. Mac and Me, what a terrible, terrible, terrible movie. Ooh, you're playing Super Street Fighter 2 on Super Nintendo while listening to the show, Ross? Well, thank you for listening to the show and picking an excellent game. I absolutely love Super Street Fighter 2. Actually, I prefer Street Fighter 2 Turbo. And I have a Super NT, so one day I will be playing it on that. Oh, Back to the Future has plenty of Easter eggs. Or Ready Player One has a lot of Back to the Future Easter eggs in that film. I remember there was the Mayor Goldie Wilson poster, the Zemeckis cube, that little that like chime thing that comes from Back to the Future. The DeLorean itself is from Back to the Future. I really liked that movie. Australia had Indiana Jones on VHS at McDonald's. That's awesome. Not here. Nothing Lucasfilm here ever hit McDonald's. I think the first time I saw a Lucasfilm product at fast food was for 1999. No, sorry, 97 special edition release. They had really weird, shitty toys at Taco Bell, KFC, and Pizza Hut. Was that the third one? My favorite film among the Back to the Future trilogy is the first one, hands down. I actually don't ever need to watch the other two. Much like Star Wars, I just focus on that first movie because those movies were made as one and dones, essentially. I mean, George Lucas did have an idea that he wanted to do more, but Splinter of the Mind's Eye was originally going to be The Empire Strikes Back to A New Hope, or it was just called Star Wars back then. So we didn't know half the shit that was going to happen. Neither did he. With Back to the Future, the story's complete. The ending's meant to be a joke because Bob Gale and Robert Zemeckis have gone on record to say if they planned on making part 2, Jennifer would not have been in the DeLorean. So that joke ending caused a problem. Logan Michael, thank you very much. I wish NECA had the license to Halloween instead of Mezco. Do you mean because of the price? Because I did get that Mezco Michael Myers. It's on its way. It'll be here in the fall, whenever that, October when the movie comes out. Maybe I'll do a video just for you, Logan Michael. I'll show it on camera. We'll talk about it. I'll have you on the show, and we'll talk about collections and toys and stuff. All you got to do is give me a date when you're available. Now, how about NECA doing a Back to the Future line? I know Funko has Funko Pops of Back to the Future, and then there was the little reaction figures, those shitty, not Kenner vintage-styled figures. And I originally bought the entire line from the internet, and then I canceled my order like the next day because I realized how stupid they were. And then a couple years later, my mom bought me the Hot Toys Marty McFly, which is incredible. I've never opened it because I don't want to get dust on it. Yes, Otto Von Doofus, Frighteners is awesome. And by the way, Otto Von Doofus, I saw the chat earlier. You're trying to wish me a happy birthday. I appreciate the sentiment, but my birthday is not for another 3 months and, God, 19 days. So thank you in advance. And when it's close to my birthday, all the bullshitters will be together, and we will be quite drunk. I have seen the Back in Time documentary on Netflix. It's a very good documentary, but when it got to the portion about the fans, I kind of lost interest because I don't really want to see that somebody, oh, I got the Toyota truck and this and that. I'm like, just tell me more about the movie that I don't know. Yes, Michael Myers is my favorite slasher. Before I went on air this morning, I was playing on my piano. I played the Halloween theme. That's my warm-up for any time I play the piano. I know how to play it, so I do. And you should go back and watch all of the Back to the Futures if you have the time today. It's a good way to spend your afternoon. Logan Michael says, first off, thank you, Logan Michael. The Super 7 Back to the Future figures are good. Hey, man, if you like them, that's all on you. I just would rather have a figure that looks just like Marty McFly instead of an approximation, especially with George. Like, if you were to show somebody that toy, the only thing that makes it George McFly is that the front of his shirt is untucked. And I know in Japan they have a release where Doc Brown comes with Einstein, so that looks pretty cool. No, Lime Green Hulk, if you like Iron Fist, to get through it, that's fine, man. I don't shit on Iron Fist. I don't think it's the worst one. That award goes to Jessica Jones. Good morning to you, Jordan Cherry. I'm glad you made it to the Good Morning Pop Culture stream. Yeah, so folks, this is our daily morning stream, 7:45 to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Tuesday through Friday. Now, Thursday, like I said, I won't be here, but I'll be back on Friday, and we'll do it up right. Now, why don't you guys how was your weekend, folks? What'd you do? Anything fun this weekend? Did you watch any movies? Did you see anything cool or new? Did you do anything related to Back to the Future this weekend? I really wish I could have, but I didn't. And I have the Back to the Future Lego set, the first one. I don't have the, Lego Dimensions set. I just have the one that comes with Doc, Marty, and the DeLorean, the big one. I got it at the Lego store, and I never opened it up. I have no interest in collecting or opening it up. Well, D. Pensack, the reason that the original Jennifer left was because her mom was sick. She didn't get fired. Claudia Wells was one. Like when we did our Goonies chat the other night, we were talking about the hottest women of the '80s. Claudia Wells was high up there on the list. She was just a good-looking woman, good Jennifer. Elizabeth Shue just didn't fit the role, and it's kind of jarring when one of the main characters is replaced like that. So that's the reason she wasn't in it. Was the fight really that bad, Ultraviolence? Did they really fight like babies? I'm gonna now you guys got me interested. I need to know what happened. I'm not picking sides. I'm not even gonna, say anything about anybody, but I just have to hear what was actually said because now I'm interested. Reese, you are the true MVP of this because you said that Back to the Future was the greatest movie. Jason Murillo, because there's two L's. I apologize if I butchered that. Thank you very much. Back to the Future had a great intro. Give me one for Star Wars. Do you mean like a great intro to the movie itself? Because Star Wars had a great intro itself with the Star Destroyer coming over and Darth Vader. That was crazy. Back to the Future is cool though too. I love it. If you want to clarify that question with a basic chat, I'd love to answer it a little more. I'm just kind of confused because you said give me one for Star Wars. Like, I don't know what you mean give you one. I think Star Wars, the original trilogy and episode 3 and episode 2 have pretty awesome openings. Episode 1 was boring and then the new ones don't matter. Logan Michael, thank you for your super chat. I watched Halloween 2 and Ant-Man 2 hours ago. Logan Michael, I saw that they have a new release for Halloween 2 coming out on Blu-ray, and I think I'm going to pick it up because this is like the season. Now, for the people in the comment talking about the Back to the Future ride, yes, Universal Studios used to have a Back to the Future ride. I was fortunate enough to ride it a few times. It was awesome. You went to the Doc Brown Institute of Technology. There was new stuff filmed with Christopher Lloyd and Thomas F. Wilson, who plays Biff. They had it was just a great, awesome ride. I remember seeing that commercial as a kid and being like, I gotta go. And then I finally went when I was 7 years old. Yeah, 7 years old, and it blew my mind because you got into a DeLorean with 5 or 6 other people, and you basically went on a trip through time, and there was a dinosaur and all kinds of shit. You flew through Hill Valley 2015. It was a really neat ride. Had I been like a multimillionaire when they closed the ride down, I would have tried to find a way to buy a ride and put it in my basement. That'd be fucking incredible. I do not own the Kids Logic Flying DeLorean, the $200 one or $300. I know it, if that's the one you're talking about. I've seen it, but I don't own it. Benito Mussolini. I've seen Mike Myers has a role in the Queen movie. Huh. I saw the trailer one time. I didn't realize he was in the trailer. Or maybe if he was in the trailer, I didn't know he was in the movie. I'll admit I don't really care for Queen. I like a few of their songs, so I probably won't see that movie unless it's on Netflix and I don't really have anything to do on a Saturday afternoon. I know guys like Dan will want to go see it, and Phil, because they love Queen and they're all excited. Awesome. Everyone should go that's excited for the movie. For me personally, I wouldn't care about their music or Freddie Mercury that much. I would just kind of sit there and another thing too, movies like that, I don't know how factual they are. I mean, look at Straight Outta Compton. I went to see that movie and I felt like it was glossed over because the guys from NWA did some dirty shit, but they made them like out to be heroes, even though it was kind of like, I don't know, I felt disingenuous because they were the producers and they were trying to rewrite history and make people see them in a certain way, and that probably wasn't how it was. So I'm not saying they did all these terrible things, but they're not the, bright, chipper guys that they claimed to be back in the late 80s and early 90s. I also rode T2 3D Christian. That was awesome. I never got the DVD releases of Back to the Future with the DeLorean. I got the first DVD release in 2002. It was funny, as a kid, my mom wouldn't... I found out Santa Claus wasn't real early on, so my mom would take me out to the stores and buy me whatever I wanted for Christmas and make me wait. And 2002 is what I would call the James Bond Christmas, because she got me Nightfire and a Sideshow Pierce Brosnan doll and the soundtrack and the first DVD box set and all kinds of James Bond stuff. It was really one of my favorite Christmases, out there with the Power Rangers Christmas of 1993. But we were leaving Media Play, and there just so happened to be a display for Back to the Future on DVD. I'm like, Mom, it's Back to the Future. So even though she had spent, tons of money on other shit, one more thing was fine, and it was Back to the Future. So I got the very first release, the one that had the poorly composited number 2. So then I rebought the DVD set a couple years later because they reprinted the Back to the Future 2 movie, and then I got the Blu-ray and the VHS and the Laserdisc and all that stuff. But I didn't get the one with the DVDs. Or the DeLorean. I think, because people are talking about modern classics with Back to the Future and stuff, I think the reason Back to the Future works is because it was focused on telling a story that everyone can relate to. Much like Star Wars. People can relate to Star Wars, even though it takes place in a galaxy far, far away, or Back to the Future takes place with time travel, things that aren't feasible maybe yet or ever. But my point is, everyone's had a day where they've been made to feel, oh, you can't do something, or blah, blah, blah. And like, you can see the struggles for Marty, his family's shitty. They're kind of losers. You don't want to become your parents. You got this dream. You don't know if you can do it. This self-doubt, all these things people can relate to. I don't care who you are. Even if you're the son of, I don't know, does LeBron James have a kid? Even if you're the son of him, I mean, I'm sure he still has some kind of self-doubt. Like, people have it no matter what level you are. And if you can make a movie like that speaks to everyone, you can definitely create a modern classic. Today, we don't have the ability to make a modern classic because Hollywood's focused on weird ideologies that won't be relevant in 5 years. Hell, maybe even 2 years, depending on how the next crop of Marvel movies go and stuff like that. Back to the Future stood the test of time. I mean, there are thousands of people who own DeLoreans that, get them converted to time machines. There are millions of people who have seen the movies and bought them. And Back to the Future is one of the highest grossing movies of all time. Was it top 60 or something like that? That's pretty good for a movie that hasn't had as many special edition releases or the merchandising juggernaut that Star Wars has had. Back to the Future is just always there, and nobody ever wants it to go away. Back to the Future is not a movie that I hear people say, I hate that movie. Like Paul Rudd, I've never really heard anyone say they hate Back to the Future. It's just kind of cool for everybody. If either you think it's okay or you really love it like I do. I've never really heard a lot of dissenting opinions about the film. Logan Michael, thank you for your super chat, sir. Mattel or Toy Biz Wolverine? I'll go with Toy Biz Wolverine because I wanted one as a kid. Funny story, I bought one at a horror convention in 2016, and the arm fell off. I was kind of pissed because it was brand new in the box. And I set it up on my shelf, and one day I went to move his arm, and it just went boom, and it broke at the elbow. So I'm going to be looking for another Tiger Stripe Wolverine from X-Men Wave 2 down the road. Mattel one's shitty. Come on, the clip-on claws, they look dumb. I'll take out pop-out claws any day of the week. Yeah, Pete, I agree. It is one of the best movies, and I can't say anything bad about it. Herb Derbler, I just Googled Back to the Future and set my Google thing to large, and there we go. I found it right away. Benito Mussolini says we got Coming to America 2 and Beverly Hills Cop 4 coming now. Those would be movies I'm okay with because Eddie Murphy's still alive, and he needs a hit. You know, Beverly Hills Cop ended on such a down note. Number 3 was just a bad movie. And Coming to America 2 could be interesting. I think it'd be funny if Chadwick Boseman was in the movie and you talk about that neighboring village of Wakanda or some shit. Wakanda versus Zamuda. That'd be really meta and really fucking funny. Centurion Rex, I have all those 124 scale DeLoreans. I bought those at Hobby Lobby and KB Toys. I got one of them in the box still, and I got a whole nother set of them open. Like I'm looking at one right now. It sits above my Miami Vice model kit. You know, I'm seeing people about Kathleen Kennedy wouldn't relate to Marty McFly. Kathleen Kennedy was on Back to the Future. Yeah, folks, I know. I know. Let's see. I did see Camp Crystal Lake Memories. I've seen it many a times. You know, it's funny, Rugis, the thing you just said about Marty in the background. I was watching a video this morning on Facebook from the official Back to the Future page, and that's why today's episode is about Back to the Future. I don't care that it doesn't have 1,000 people watching. Today's an episode for me. I wanted to talk about something I really, really cared about because you guys got a video that's going to discuss the state of Star Wars coming really soon. I already recorded the audio. It's about our friend Scott Mendelson. I had the one yesterday that's blowing up huge. So I thought for my own sanity's sake, I'd make it a little more personal today here on Good Morning Pop Culture. And, you know, talk to you guys about stuff we all love. We can shit on Star Wars later in the show, actually. Besides Back to the Future, what's my favorite time travel movie? Terminator 2 or Terminator. I like the concept of time travel, but I don't like the time machine or Time Cop's okay. I don't know. Back to the Future is just, it's not even fair. I like Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure quite a bit. And Bogus Journey. Well, Bogus Journey's not a time travel movie. They're just dead. Maybe. I haven't seen Bogus Journey in like 15 years. Point is, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure is great. Other time travel movies are great, but Back to the Future just is head and shoulders above all these things. It's almost not fair because while those other movies have good characters, Back to the Future has great characters and they're all solid. Marty, George, Lorraine, Biff, Dave, Linda, Doc, obviously, Mary Goldie Wilson, you know, Strickland, all these people. Hell, Billy Zane's character had some memorable shit, especially in part 2 when he's a fat hillbilly. Oh my God, I love part 2. Part 2 has a special place in my heart. It took place on my birthday when I turned 27, October 21st, 2015. So that was cool. And that was the day World Class Bullshitters launched officially. So if you guys ever want to know why World Class Bullshitters launched when it did, Back to the Future 2 is the answer. Yeah, I'd consider Terminator a time travel movie. I mean, I guess because the main character doesn't travel through time, but the premise is something travels through time to get to them. And if we can't do that, then Bill and Ted and then Hot Tub Time Machine. Those are two awesome other time travel movies. Somewhere in Time. Is that the Christopher Reeve, Jane Seymour movie? I think my aunt really loves that movie. I haven't seen it. I watched an Oliver Harper review on it because I like everything that guy does. That'd be a big get for me to get him and Richard and Duncan on the channel so we could talk about entertainment, to have a different take on it, a different a European approach to world-class bullshitters. I think that'd be a lot of fun to have those guys on the show. So if you guys message them on Twitter constantly, maybe we can make that happen. What do you think of 2015 year when it becomes real Back to the Future Part 2? I'll tell you this, the countdown for that day was more about Back to the Future than it being my birthday. I was so focused on, Back to the Future Day. I did pick up the USA Today special edition newspapers for the movie. I wanted to get the Pepsi Perfect, but I missed out on that. And then I wanted to get the shoes, but the shoes aren't made in my size. I only went up to a 13, so they didn't have, 16 Nike. And that kind of pissed me off because I would have paid the money for that. Yes, I've seen the Back to the Future cartoon show. I have the McDonald's toys from it. I used to watch the Back to the Future cartoon quite a bit because it was on CBS. You'd catch it here and there because my mom didn't have cable, but my grandma did. And I was over my grandma a lot, so I grew up watching Nickelodeon. But when I was at home with my mom on weekends when she wasn't working, Back to the Future cartoon was one I watched quite a bit. Necrosa, thank you very much for your super chat. Beverly Hills Cop TV show or Beverly Hills Cop 4? I'm going to go with Beverly Hills Cop 4 because Eddie Murphy has stated that he would never do TV again. So I want to see Axel Foley all the time, even if it's just for 2 hours. That's what I want. And by the way, Necroska, if you go back and listen to earlier episodes of World Class Bullshitters, I actually wrote Beverly Hills Cop 4 and pitched the entire plot in an episode. So go back through our archives and listen to it. There's a longer episode from maybe 2016 where I said, hey guys, let's pitch our own sequels to movies we love. So I did Back to the Future 4, or not Back to the Future 4, Beverly Hills Cop 4. Nick did Back to the Future 4. Phil did Air Force 1-2 because the joke 1-2. But it's a good episode, and I really put a lot of time into my Beverly Hills Cop 4 script. Surge comes back. We find a way to include Bogomil, Taggart, Rosewood, Bogomil's daughter, as well as Bogomil's granddaughter. And Axel Foley's the lead. There's no passing it on to the next generation type of thing. Yes, Scott Lazars, I do have a great mom. She's an awesome lady. That's why there's no show on Thursday, so we can celebrate her birthday. Blue Watcher. Nice. What are my thoughts on the Equalizer 2 trailer? I'll see Equalizer 2. I think I saw Equalizer 1. Don't really remember if I did, but I like Denzel Washington. And I like these newer, smaller budget action pictures. I feel like if we want more shit like that, we got to all go out and support that. Because if they make huge money, like John Wick was a huge hit from a small budget to what it made. And we're getting 3 of them in action figures and stuff like that. Equalizer was successful. I wish Death Wish would have been more successful because I like Bruce Willis, and it's a remake, and I'm mostly against remakes, but it's Bruce Willis going back old school shit. So that's kind of why if I'm going to take a stance on a movie series or a movie genre, I really want the R-rated violent action picture to come back. They can come out in the beginning of the year. They don't have to be huge summer blockbusters, but just make them. There's an audience for those. I mean, older guys do go out and see movies. My uncle, good guy. He was, excited for Equalizer 2, and he wanted to see Death Wish and stuff like that. I mean, he's in his 50s, but he'll take his family to go see these movies. And I'm not just talking his wife, but he has daughters who are in their 20s, and they'll all go as a family. So look at the box office from that. I mean, that's what, $65 or something in ticket sales right there from just that one household. And there's a lot of guys out there that are going to go back and see these things. So, yes, the Equalizer trailer 2 looked good, but I also just support the idea. I think Liam Neeson with his dad action pictures taken really kind of set this trend off, and I'm happy with it overall. Are they the best things ever? No, but they're a nice alternative. The worst type of genre for me are those stupid teen book adaptations like, was it Mortal Bones or the City of Instruments or some shit like that? And then there was the one, not Degenerate, the one with Shailene Woodley, the girl that was too ugly to play Mary Jane, the one that got canceled. They made 2 of them. And then the third one was made into a TV show. And then there was the Maze Runner. All these just these little teeny shitty novel books. Those are the ones I say fuck them. I know I'm not in the age demographic, but there's just so many of them, and I don't see all these kids going to theaters. Let's see here. Wow, these are all rolling in. Thank you guys so much. Yeah, ARC Trooper. I'm a large person, so see when I say like I'm a big dude, I'm not just saying oh I'm heavy. I mean like trust me, no one's like when people call me Andre the Giant. I'm not saying I'm that tall, but not too far off either. I love Huey Lewis too. Thank you, Jaron Ricewig, for a happy birthday to my mom. I will, Scott. Everyone, thank you for the positive response to my mom. She's cool. She's at work right now. She's kind of had some rough times, but as the channel grows, we'll be able to get out of here and move and do all kinds of stuff. So, yay me, yay mom. Cesario Japan says, no love for the Equalizer TV show, the theme music. I don't know if I've seen it. Don't do a lot of TV anymore. I am watching F is for Family, though, season 2. I'm getting caught up on that, and I do like that show. Bill Burr is one of my favorite stand-up comedians. He's the man. He's fucking hilarious, and that show's great, and I like how it's not afraid to be politically incorrect and all this other shit. It's something like that makes me have faith in Netflix producing original content. Then I see all this other crap they put out there, and I'm just like, eh. But the thing is, on like Facebook, they don't really promote F is for Family. I keep seeing stuff for like this drag queen show and all this other stuff, which, you know, cool. I'm glad people out there there's an audience for that, but I'm not going to watch that stuff. I almost, I was going through my my Netflix and thumbing down stuff I'm not interested in so it doesn't pop up. And I almost felt guilty. I'm like, wait, I'm not interested in this show about lesbian lovers I'm like, should I feel guilty? No, because I pay for it. I can watch whatever I want. And then I put on F is for Family or something like that. Predator is your all-time favorite movie. We'll never see anything as good as that again. Kind of sad. Do you want to see something as good as Predator, or do you want it to remain that amazing that you can always go back? It's like, a blanket where it's always, safe and warm and it won't change. They've tried to do Predator stuff, but I don't think it'll work because you don't have the testosterone, you don't have the charisma of Arnold Schwarzenegger, you don't have Carl Weathers, who let's not discredit Carl Weathers for being the black-jacked Arnold Schwarzenegger alternative. I mean, Apollo Creed and Rocky with Stallone was great. He was a great character in better shape. He was like Muhammad Ali, essentially, is what he was trying to be, but Carl Weathers was a great actor. I haven't seen him anything lately, so I don't know if he still is that great. But Carl Weathers, double thumbs up from World Class Bullshitters. But the duo of him, that Dylan, you son of a bitch line is incredible. I know I always talk about the 80s on this channel, but it really was a decade where creativity ran wild, and you had stuff that stands the test of time. It's not always nostalgia either that keeps it around. I think something like a Back to the Future holds a lot. Okay, for example, Dustin, who used to be on the channel, saw Back to the Future for the first time in 2010, and he thought it was going to be something else. He watched it, he goes, wow, that was great. Great writing, great this, great that. He was very impressed with the movie. He wasn't even coming from a nostalgia standpoint. He just found there would be a lot of quality in the movie, and that was a lot of fun. And that's why I think a lot of stuff from the 80s stands up. Either it's fun and unique, or it was, different. Just, it was the best decade for that kind of stuff. How do I feel about Bojack Horseman? I don't like Bojack Horseman. Oh, sorry, Logan. Logan Michael, I'll get to you in just a second, buddy. I don't like Bojack Horseman. I watched season 1 and I thought it was shitty, and then I never watched anymore. So if I need to watch season 2, maybe, or 3, if there's enough interest, maybe I'll even review it for you guys. Logan Michael says RoboCop or Terminator. Are we just talking movies or films? I'll give you both answers. If we're talking movies, RoboCop 1 to Terminator 1, I'm going to go Terminator 1. If we're going to go characters, I guess I like RoboCop because he actually... no, I'm going to go with the T-800. Arnold Schwarzenegger for both things. Terminator 1 versus RoboCop 1 Terminator. Characters, Arnold Schwarzenegger's character from either T1 or T2. Interesting, cool. I know it's a small detail, but I love in Terminator after Reese throws that grenade, he burns off his eyebrows and they never come back. Just little things like that really make that movie awesome. I'm glad there's a lot of love for Bill Burr. A lot of people talking about their shoe size and how tall they are. Well, Scott Lazar, or yeah, Lazar's, I'm still a couple inches taller. Yeah, I say that to Hulk Hogan every morning when I wake up. Oh man, WrestleMania 3 was awesome. Do I like the A-Team? I love the theme song quite a bit. The show's good. I don't dislike it at all. Put it like this. If I was up and it was on like El Rey or something, the A-Team would stay on. Like, or if I'm watching an episode of Miami Vice and the A-Team came on next, or I was watching Knight Rider and A-Team came on next, I'm not changing the channel. Never talk about Dustin Fine. Jeff Elwanger. Oh, that guy still listens to the show. Cool, too. Too cool. I'm going to meet Robert Englund soon, so maybe I'll get an interview with him. Jeff the Iron Wolf. Need another Snake Plissken movie. Escape from New York. If it's Kurt Russell, because I thought Escape from LA sucked. I remember seeing that as a kid and thinking it was cool, and then I went back to watch it as an adult, because I saw Escape from LA first because it was new, and we rented it. And then I liked it because I was, 7 or 8 years old. And then we went back, or I went back and I saw Escape from New York, and then I saw Escape from LA again. I'm like, no. New York is great, LA, but I'm all about Kurt Russell. He's the man. Centurion Rex, I like the RoboCop figure as well. I wanted to get Dion one, but maybe he's listening and I don't want to tell him what I would like to give him as a gift, so fuck you, Dion. I'd buy that for $1. Punky Brewster. Yeah, we talked about Punky Brewster on the Goonies commentary. That got demonetized because it was too risque. So somebody complained that we talked about hot women of the 80s for too long. So whatever. Whatever you guys want to talk about, I'll talk about. It's not really an issue. Of course I've seen Total Recall. Come on. Total Recall is a fantastic movie. Yeah, it's from the 90s, but that doesn't mean it's bad. Now, Total Recall is tied for my favorite Schwarzenegger. Well, is it... Predator's my favorite one, and then I can't decide if Total Recall or Commando is my second favorite. Those are the trifecta of Arnold films. Funnily enough, there's no Terminator, the character he's most, associated with. I used to watch MacGyver as a kid. I liked that show. Something I would watch with my grandma. Batman 89 is badass. Tom Baker was your doctor. I like Doctor Who. See the potty, Rick. Oh, man. Now, the Total Recall remake was total shit. I saw that in theaters. And when they showed the three-boobed woman, I was like, okay, cool. There's tits in a PG-13 movie. And then the rest of the movie proceeded to shit the bed. Yeah, 80s women were hot. We went on for about an hour and a half of the 2-hour Goonies runtime talking about hot women of the 80s. I said Kelly LeBrock right away. To me, that's the top of the mountain for 80s women. Kelly LeBrock, yeah, she didn't age well, but she had a shitty husband in Steven Seagal. And, stress does that to your body. So let's pour one out for Kelly LeBrock circa 1985. I love Running Man. Running Man would be number 5. T2 would be number 4, and then probably Running Man. I like Running Man more than I like Terminator 1, for sure. See, Arnold really had, I guess you'd have to take out Total Recall, but Arnold had, I guess, the best 80s in terms of, most movies that are good. I guess Harrison Ford had the best in terms of percentages, because he had 2 Star Wars films, 3 Indiana Jones movies, and only a handful of other films that he appeared in, like Working Girl, which are all good movies. I mean, he never... Mosquito Coast may be the bottom of the barrel for 1980s Harrison Ford, but overall, he really had a solid decade. Eddie Murphy had a really solid decade, too. Stallone had a solid decade. Maybe Dion and I will sit down and do a thing. Who had the best 1980s? Yeah, 14 people will watch it, but I don't give a shit. Red Heat or Twins? I guess Twins, because I don't remember Red Heat. Is that the one with John Belushi? No, Jim Belushi. Yeah, John died. Starship Troopers or Total Recall? Ooh, excellent question. I'm gonna go with Total Recall, but Starship Troopers is good. So I take it you're a fan of Philip K. Dick. What about a young Jane Fonda and Barbarella? Good looking lady. I've seen that movie. It's pretty bad, but I like it. My favorite Stallone movie is Rocky 2. I really like Rocky 2 because I like how he kind of reached a little bit of success and then, almost thought he had to go back to a normal life. I feel like that's where we are right now as a channel. We're in our Rocky 2 phase. Like, we went the distance already, and now we're kind of building up our credibility. I can't wait to get to the Rocky 3 and 4 stages. That's going to be awesome. And we're just going to skip Rocky 5 and 6, and we're just going to stay on top and go out into the sunset. Yes, I want to know more. What Lies Beneath is your favorite Harrison Ford performance? I saw that movie in theaters. That was, 2000. My mom took me to see it because as a kid, I loved Harrison Ford. I don't know why. Other kids were watching kid stuff. Anything with Harrison Ford, I had to see. And I went and saw that movie, and that was like the first time he played the bad guy. And I liked the movie, but I was like, what? How is he the bad guy? I've been used to Han Solo and Indiana Jones and, the president and all that stuff. So it was kind of a big change, but I liked it. My thoughts on the Expendables. By the way, Rowdy Ruffian, I didn't see Rocky 6 AK Creed. I watched the beginning of it and turned it off because I had to go somewhere. But I liked what I saw, so I'm not really ready to shit on it. My thoughts on the Expendables. Okay, could be better. I think there were a lot of missed opportunities, and Mickey Rourke's brother thing was kind of annoying. I'd rather not have Mickey Rourke and have The Rock instead. I think a missed opportunity in The Incredibles would have been to have The Rock in the first one on Stallone's team, and then you could add Rock versus Stone Cold one last time and on film. Yeah, Heather Locklear, Centurion Rex, good taste. She's kind of a... Okay, Philip K. Dick did not do Starship Troopers. There we go. I knew it was a book, though. Logan Michael, get off my plane. I love that movie. I used to watch that all the time. How underrated is Timothy Dalton as James Bond? I don't know how underrated he truly is, because License to Kill, I think, is a dumb movie. Like I've always said, it's too little too late. I prefer Living Daylights. I think he did a good job. I think Lazenby gets a bad rap too, and I think Roger Moore and Daniel Craig get too much praise. I think they kind of suck as James Bond, but they had the longest tenures, and I'm not a fan. Dalton doesn't get enough praise. I think Brosnan's getting the short end of the stick right now, but as Daniel Craig's tenure wraps up and people stop shitting on the previous versions, the Brosnan love will come back, much like the Michael Keaton love, because in the mid-2000s, people were shitting on Michael Keaton left and right when Christian Bale was Batman. Now that Christian Bale's gone and Ben Affleck's in and probably going to be gone again, Michael Keaton love's back. So I'm expecting the same cyclical thing for Pierce Brosnan. Was he better than Connery? I don't know. But I will say he feels like a 90s version of Sean Connery. He fit the era appropriately. Maybe he wasn't the slickest. Well, you know what? Like, all the women in my family thought he was this handsome, classy guy. So he fit that. And he was able to fight. So he was convincing there. So he's supposed to be sophisticated, suave, and deadly. And I bought that with Pierce Brosnan as well as Sean Connery. Not Roger Moore. Definitely not Daniel Craig. Dalton, kind of. I do like his car. It's one of the best James Bond cars ever. My favorite John Hughes movie is The Breakfast Club. I used to have a copy of it on my phone because I'd watch it all the time at the gym. Breakfast Club is a fantastic movie that stands the test of time. Yeah, it's in the 80s, with 1984 is the day, March 20-something. But anybody from any era, I think that's something a lot of teenagers should watch because it'll resonate with them no matter what era they live in. And I think John Hughes wrote that over a weekend. Like, the script of that movie was written over a weekend. That's fucking insane. Alien or Aliens? Aliens all the way. Studio, I think GoldenEye is the first GoldenEye trailer is the best trailer of all time. Where you're expecting someone else, that was incredible. I remember seeing that as a kid on Nickelodeon. Like at night, to transition to Nick at Night. I remember that was my first exposure to James Bond, and I was like, what is this? This looks crazy. And then I caught Goldfinger a few months later on the TNT something Days of Bond. So that GoldenEye trailer, I have it downloaded. To me, that's the best movie trailer of all time, hands down. The music's great. I got the soundtrack that has the that version of the theme on it from Parody and Fair. Awesome, all day, every day. I like Weird Science too. Weird Science is a fantastic movie. I own it on Blu-ray. Don't own The Breakfast Club on Blu-ray, but I have Weird Science on Blu-ray. I guess I want to see that Kelly LeBrock in HD. Well, Ken Jackman, Pierce Brosnan was actually about to be cast as James Bond. If you watch the documentary Everything or Nothing, he's leaving his hotel room to go to the press conference to be announced as the next James Bond. And the phone rings and he answers it, and it's Remington Steele's production company extending his contract. So that is true what you said, but he was about to be cast in 1986. And, you know, that's why I always love when Pierce Brosnan played Bond, as I read, you know, the behind-the-scenes stuff, because it was like he was meant to be James Bond. It took years, 9 more years, but he would be the character. And for my generation, he was on everything, too. Commercials, video games, toys. That was James Bond for a long time. No other James Bond actors appeared, I don't think, on that much merchandise. Connery had stuff back in the day, but then they stopped putting his face on stuff like the board games. Roger Moore had some stuff that he was on. Lazenby and Dalton didn't have anything. Dalton was on that video game, James Bond the Duel. Lazenby, nothing. So I'm glad Pierce Brosnan was Bond. He seems like the nicest guy of all of them. I played Maniac Mansion. I like Day of the Tentacle better myself. Yeah, Stranger Things did do the 80s quite well. Funny side note, my great-grandma lived in the town that show is filmed in. So, weird world-class bullshitters connection to entertainment. Okay, Comic Maker Joe, just for you. I strongly suggest you watch the Bond movies from the beginning. Start with Dr. No, work your way up. Don't skip a single one. Even if you don't like them, please watch them all so you can see the evolution of the films. For me, best are GoldenEye and From Russia with Love, or either one or two, On Her Majesty's Secret Service, Live and Let Die, and Living Daylights. Living Daylights over Live and Let Die, but those are my top 5. So please check them all out. The Pui, thank you very much for a super chat. Would you ever consider to have your mom on a live stream? I love hearing stories with your mom in them. I could do that. My mom my mom works a lot. She's getting up there in age, but for some reason, the people that work for her, because she's the boss, suck. So my mom has to work all these extra shifts and stuff, and she's been worn out lately. But yeah, I could do something with my mom. If you guys want to ask her questions about me, she's cool. I mean, I love her. She's great. There's no, there'd be nothing that she would say that I'd be embarrassed by. She's cool. She's enabled a lot of the stuff. Like, she really is the reason why I was able to get here with the channel, because, you know, I wasn't making a bunch of money outside of college, and she helped me out to get here, and now we're here and it's a thing. So yeah, I can have my mom on, and you can hear stories about me. Maybe I'll record a couple things and put them in a podcast, and that way you guys can listen to them there instead of trying to catch her live. But I got tons of mom stories. If anyone needs to know one, I'm trying to think. My mom's afraid of action movies, not like scared of like the concept, but she gets real tense and nervous when like explosions happen. So when we were watching, I think Spectre, when the thing blew up, she's like, ugh. And she always does that. It makes me laugh. Thank you, Pete1972, for your compliment. And Batman 89 is underrated. People are shitting on it, but it's great. Super Troopers or Reno 911? Reno 911. I know this is going to probably lose me a couple subscribers. I don't really like Super Troopers. I get the humor. That's a Kendo, Nick, and Dion thing. World-class bullshitters, if we're going to vote on it, yeah, Super Troopers would make it into the World-class bullshitters Hall of Fame, but it wouldn't be getting my vote. But hey, 3 out of 4, it still gets through. Let's see. GoldenEye 64 is among the best N64 games I've ever played. Oh, the one thing that was awesome was caverns with proximity mines. Really put you on your toes when you can't see the mines. Yeah! I love GoldenEye. That's my favorite video game. One thing that's a glitch that I used to do is my friend Brandon and I, sorry, Dion, I see you in the chat. Before there was Dion, my friend Brandon and I were best buddies. But if you play multiplayer on the bunker with remote mines, not remote, yeah, remote mines, and you put the mines on the TV screens, and then you blow them all up at the same time. The remote mines float. So my friend and I would like do like lines of remote mines and just have invincibility on and blow them up and do like these weird like special effects, like, oh, we're gonna run through the fire and shit. That's the way we used to do it. Thoughts on The World Is Not Enough. The game was fun, and I had a lot of good memories with my buddy Tony. We used to play it because that was the first James Bond game with AI bots. We call them Albots because we didn't realize what AI stood for. Hey, it was 2000. Give me a break. But we used to do that, and the movie's fine. I remember that was the first Bond movie I saw in theaters. I used to call every Friday morning. I'd call the local discount movie chain, the Danbury Dollar Saver, to see if they were playing it. And then the day I found out that they were playing it, my mom let me take off school, and she took me to go see the movie. So I got to play hooky to see a James Bond movie. And then when it came out on videotape, I rode my bike to Blockbuster to buy it. They sold it to me without any questions. I know PG-13, but I looked like I was 13 at 6, so yeah, good for me. Let's see. Yeah, Lago Master, she's awesome. She's the best. Yeah, Dion, we'll work on a Hall of Fame for all the genres. That'd be something we can talk about off air, and we can do commentaries and live streams for and stuff like that. I think we just came up with something new. Logan Michael, thank you very much. Leatherface or Pinhead? Leatherface because he's stupid in part 2, and that makes me laugh. Pinhead, I've seen the first, 4 Hellraisers? I only like the first Hellraiser, so I'm not really a fan of that series, but there are multiple Texas Chainsaw Massacre films that I'm okay with, and Pinhead's the villain, so I'll give him that vote by, that. Skyfall, Judi Dench, enough said, great flick. I like Skyfall quite a bit. Is it my favorite Daniel Craig movie? I can't determine right now on air if it is, but I'm glad she's dead. I think Judi Dench worked better when she wasn't his mommy, and I'm using quotations that you can't see. I liked her better when she was his boss, and that, she was kind of a bitch towards him. There was no that relationship. Channel Dad Brian Lape's here. Channel Dad Brian Lape, make sure you got your days off to go to Horror Hound. By the way, folks, for those who just came in, World Class Bullshitters is going to be live in Indianapolis on August 24th through the 26th at the Horror Hound Convention. We got a table, we got a hotel suite. It's going to be awesome. So if you're in the Midwest area and you can make the trip, come hang out with us. If you don't go to the show, that's fine. Come to the hotel after parties. We're going to be there. We're going to be trying to get Dion RoboCop's autograph, and maybe D2 can get signed by RoboCop. You don't give a kid a tattoo, but it's RoboCop's autograph, so Dion will make the exception. But it's going to be a fantastic time, and if you guys want to hang out with us, it's the best way to do it. Because when we do the Star Wars celebration in Chicago next year, it's going to be the High Council. It's going to be a lot of people. This is your best chance, as of now, to hang out with the World Class Bullshitters and just have fun. There's going to be giving out free gifts and stuff like that. We're working behind the scenes to make it the best experience we can. Looney Tunes was way better than Disney. I like the Warner Brothers cartoons more than I do the Disney cartoons. I grew up with Warner Brothers, went to the Warner Brothers studio store quite a bit as a kid. They even had Pokemon there, which was kind of cool. I'd buy signed D2 for $1. Yeah, Dion, well, you are father of the millennium, so I can't blame you there. Crom enjoys his coffee with morning coffee with World Class Bullshitters. I have my morning coffee too. Thank you, Crom. A lot of love for Looney Tunes. That's cool, man. I'm glad there's a lot of James Bond questions on this show. Good Morning Pop Culture. It's my favorite thing to talk about. Ask Peter Weller for a Buckaroo Banzai autograph. I can. What's nice, though, is normally at these shows, I'm working as an artist. I'm trying to sell stuff and make my money back. At this show, we're going to take some world-class bullshitter stuff, and I got a couple old things I'm going to just try to get rid of and sell to make some table money back. But other than that, I'm going to just enjoy my weekend. I'm probably not going to be sober for most of it. So if you meet me at the show, it's going to be a very beer-drunk Jeff. And a very beer-drunk Jeff is a happy Jeff. Dion knows. Logan Michael says, my phone is at 69%. Ooh, what a good phone it is. Why do I hate Moonraker so much? As a kid, I loved it. Well, Coyote 99, I saw Moonraker as a kid too, and I liked it. I liked every Bond movie as a kid, with the exception of License to Kill. Moonraker to me is so dumb. I hate the music. I hate the theme song. Jaws, I like Jaws, but it's so slapstick and hokey, and the space battle's kind of lame when you compare it to Star Wars. There's just so many reasons. I hate the parts in Venice. Chang is a terrible sidekick. Roger Moore can't fight, so I don't believe he's like in danger ever. It's a to me, it's just at the bottom of the barrel. That and Diamonds Are Forever. So there's a lot of hate for that movie. But I do respect Roger Moore as James Bond. And they followed it up with For Your Eyes Only, which to me is one of the best Bond movies. Probably like number 6 or 7 on my list of top 24. So that's high up in my opinion. Best Connery pun. I think you got the point is my favorite one. So if you don't know what that means, folks, he's on the beach with Domino, who's one of the best looking Bond girls. She stepped on something like a sea urchin or something, and he's got to suck the poison out of her foot. And they're laying there, and she's in this hot bikini, and she's like, Vargas is coming. And so Bond has sunglasses on, and he's like looking at her, and he slowly reaches for a fucking spear gun. He turns around and shoots the guy, and the spear gun stabs him through the tree, and he goes, I think you got the point. That's my favorite one. He was making those puns before Schwarzenegger. I, too, enjoy the original M. Bernard Lee from the Connery Bond films. He was great, and he died, so that's why he stopped. The Defenders of Earth cartoon, is that the one that has, like, the Phantom and all those other superheroes in it? Because if yes, if that's the name of the show, I've seen it. If not, I do not know what that cartoon is. The best 007 commentary or documentary is Everything or Nothing. And then the ones that are on the DVDs from the first release are really great, too. So I suggest you check all those out. Yes, Bambi and Thumper were in Diamonds Are Forever. They, God, they're okay. I just hate that movie too. Listen to the commentary. I'm really, really negative towards that one. How do I feel about the non-MGM Bond flicks? I don't like Never Say Never Again, and I've only seen the 66 or 7 Casino Royale one time, so I don't really remember it too well. So I'm not necessarily a big fan of that, but not gonna say they're the worst. I just, I don't really think about them. Yeah, Moonraker was the one with Jaws getting a girlfriend. What Bond film would you like to change to make it better? I'd like to have Diamonds Are Forever have George Lazenby. That'd be a lot better. I'd like to, Die Another Day, honestly, would be the one I'd like to fix the most. Because, yeah, Brosnan's my favorite, and I think he got a raw deal on the last one. And the first half of Die Another Day is actually good. The whole part where he goes to North Korea and gets captured and then escapes and all this shit, that was interesting. Up until the point where he does the fencing and gets the invisible car, that movie's really solid. It kind of veers off into stupidity. Maybe if the second half of Die Another Day was real serious, there was no Icarus laser beam, the puns were a little better. Gustav Graves, the Gustav Graves stuff doesn't even bother me. I'm okay with that he was that Korean guy that had his face changed and all that shit. But that's the one that's how I would change that movie. Die Another Day, and Dion would not make me watch that in an afternoon with Beverly Hills Cop 3. My favorite Bond film of each actor's run, well, that would be From Russia with Love for Connery, On Her Majesty's Secret Service, because that's the only one Lazenby did, Live and Let Die for Moore, The Living Daylights for Dalton, Goldeneye for Brosnan, Skyfall for Daniel Craig. I've never seen Casablanca, Pete, so I can't comment on it yet, but I need to check it out. I'm glad you remember that I said I like the Maltese Falcon. I think it's fantastic. Oh, your dad hated The Phantom in the 90s? I saw that in theaters. I really do like that movie. I have a very special feeling towards it. Idris Elba should never play 007 because James Bond is one guy, and he's white and British, much like Shaft is a black guy from, New York? Don't change the character. I know the Idris Elba thing is a popular online opinion, and I'll gladly talk about it, but if James Bond's going to be carried on after Daniel Craig, I want Henry Cavill or some guy that looks like a classic Bond, and I'd like to basically forget the nasty Daniel Craig era of Bond and move into something more traditional and fun. I'll give Spectre this. They did go back to the fun, traditional nature of James Bond, and I really liked that. Logan Michael, favorite horror movie? Halloween, hands down. Love it. I could watch it any day of the week. I like John Carpenter movies overall. Dr. Loomis is great. Jamie Lee Curtis is great. The friends are cute and fun, and I like that the way they go out. Michael Myers is fun. I really enjoy the character. You know, how he basically follows girls around in a Halloween mask because he drives a station wagon. I mean, if you say that sentence isolated, it sounds like the dumbest movie ever made, but then when you watch it, it's scary and it's fun. I haven't seen Lawrence of Arabia yet. There are a lot of classics I haven't seen. I grew up watching 80s stuff at my aunt's house, and they would watch like Chevy Chase comedies and stuff like that. A lot of the stuff I talk about, I saw at their house because my mom's not a movie person. She'd buy me movies and anything I wanted, but she'll watch a movie one time and she's done. Tanae, you know what's a great movie? Salt starring Angelina Jolie. Best horror movie for me is probably Scream. I never saw Salt with Angelina Jolie, but if they ever make a Black Widow movie, it's essentially going to be that. Scream. I saw Scream many, many times, but every time I watch Scream now, I think a scary movie. I like scary movies. Scream is fine. Scream 4 was terrible. But I guess I didn't, as a kid, I didn't get that it was meant to be kind of funny. I just thought it was whatever it was. I didn't realize it was like a satire of slasher flicks. You know, rest in peace, Wes Craven. By the way, I was watching Vampire in Brooklyn the other night. That's a terrible movie. I thought it was good at one point. Nope, it is bad. But you know what? It's not Eddie Murphy's worst. And it's funny, if you watch a lot of his older movies, they kind of all build to the Nutty Professor in clumps because the type of humor and him in different costumes. That's always been one of his trademarks, him, you know, with makeup on, doing different voices. And I think he does it the best in Coming to America and then the Clumps or Nutty Professor 1. You've never seen Halloween, but you like Halloween. You got to watch Halloween, man. You got to check it out. Please, go watch it right now. You know, just leave the stream and go watch it. I don't care. Yes, I've seen Ready to Rumble with Oliver Platt many times. Jimmy King, Kingham, or Crown, or whatever they say. I've seen that movie a lot. I rented, or I recorded it off of HBO as a kid. You know how they give those free weekends on DirecTV? I recorded it on tape, and I would watch that all the time. I didn't watch WCW as a kid, but I was cool with it. And by the way, John Cena's in that movie. 30 Days a Night, wasn't really a fan. I saw it came out on my birthday, and I saw it in theaters that year. It was okay. Maybe if I watch it again, I'll think differently. I did fall asleep. Halloween or The Thing? That's a hard... Well, no, I'm going to go with Halloween. I love The Thing, though. They're equally good. Both 10 out of 10s for me. It's really not like what's better. It's what do I want to watch first type of question. Probably would rather watch The Thing first and then Halloween, because then I could lead into Halloween 2. Because I do like Halloween 2. I know it's not a Carpenter flick, but he was involved. And I enjoyed it. I do need to have a Classics Day to catch up on these old films and let you know what I think. You know, the channel is full time now, man. So it's going to have to be down the road. But when I do watch them, you'll be the first people to know. Especially you, Darth Dirkle, the wise ass. My favorite Bond title sequence is Casino Royale, followed by A View to a Kills, because a girl unzips her ski suit, and between her boobs it says 007, and then the girl at the end has a neon painted bush. So those are three things I love. And then I like the Skyfall one quite a bit too, as well as the GoldenEye one. They're really great. Dion can confirm this. We've been drunk many a times, and of those many times, a few times we spent watching all the James Bond title sequences on YouTube. Yeah, Jack Burton's the shit. Tanae, what about The Hills Have Eyes 2004? I've only seen the original one, Tanae. But I'm open to watching the horror remakes. I'm not saying they're going to be better than the original, but I will definitely watch those. I actually watched the other day when I was working on a video for you guys. I was watching Dawn of the Dead 2004. And I know this is a controversial opinion, but I like it almost as much as the original. Not more, almost. I think it's a pretty solid film. Best Zack Snyder film, in my opinion. I think Watchmen is too long and a little overrated, and the best parts of it come from the book, not Zack Snyder. But Zack Snyder's take on the new Dawn of the Dead is different enough from the original, and it's a lot of fun, and I like the characters. I think the ending is kind of weak. It went for a big blow-up, a big explosive ending, and it was kind of whatever. But overall, I still enjoy the hell out of that movie. Favorite Bond theme, View to a Kill. Hands down. I love that song. I listen to that every couple of days. It's on my phone. View to a Kill. Duran Duran's a great band. Love them. Simon Le Bon has a hot daughter. And again, he married a model, so of course they would make a good-looking girl. Yeah, View to a Kill is my favorite song, followed by You Know My Name from Casino Royale, and then Skyfall. Funnily enough, as much as I shit on Daniel Craig, his movies have my favorite songs as well as title sequences. I've never seen Night of the Comet. What pea soup? What horror movie has a lot of pea soup? I don't know. I'm sorry. Oh, are you talking about The Exorcist? If that's what you mean, you spelled pea as in like urine. I'm like, what? Because if it's PEA soup, I think of The Exorcist. Logan Michael, thank you for your super chat. Is it your real name yet? Nightmare on Elm Street 2010 is dog crap. Well, here's a story for Dion, who's here in the room. Dion and I went to see A Nightmare on Elm Street 2010 with his now wife, Hillary, and she was afraid. So we all went. Dion paid to take her to this movie, and she stared at the floor for, 90 minutes? She refused to watch the damn movie. She just said, she goes, no, no, no. And then we went back to the apartment. Maybe this was a year later, but we were watching Jason X. And she refused to watch it. So the way the old apartment was that we all lived in together, we had a couch that faced the TV, and there was a futon on the wall. And Hillary rolls over and lays and stares at the wall for like 90 minutes while we watched Jason X. Yeah, Dion, you made her ass go. But that was funny. I just remember we went to McAllister's Deli, and then we saw Nightmare on Elm Street 2010. And she was just so pissed off about it. Good morning to the Grand Inquisitor. Thank you very much for all the time you spent watching the channel, Grand Inquisitor. And thank you to everyone else who has spent time watching it. The Pui, did you not hear me mention your super chat on air about my mom? Is that what you're asking? Because I definitely read that. Did I miss another one? I don't know. I'm hoping not. No, Pui, if I forgot, if you didn't hear me read the one about my mom, I did read that, and I said, yeah, she could come on sometime. She really went because Rorschach was Freddy. I didn't know that, Dion. WBT, I was saying that at the top of the hour. I'm hoping that one day we do see the original Back to the Future footage, all of it with Eric Stoltz, edited back into the film, and they try to put it together. I think it'd be a really nice, you can even sell it as a separate movie for full price. Or you could just throw it on as a bonus feature and charge more for Back to the Future. I'd be willing to pay, $60 or $70 for a Back to the Future set that includes Eric Stoltz footage, even if I already owned it on Blu-ray. So that's what I care, and I'm into that. Thoughts on Planet of the Apes? Love them. Love the original. Love the new trilogy. Bought them all on Blu-ray. Yeah, some of the other ones in the TV show aren't necessarily awesome, but I do like Planet of the Apes overall as a series. I guess on percentage-wise, it's one of my most appreciated franchises. When is the next watch party, and can it be an Arnold flick? Well, the next watch party is going to be probably over the weekend of the 13th, 14th. Oh, Friday the 13th is next Friday. Shit. Nick, I got to get Nick to get together, and we got to do some more of those. But the weekend of the 14th or 15th, we could maybe do an Arnold flick. We'll put out a poll. You guys can vote on our Twitter. And that's how we did the Goonies this week. I wanted to watch Lost Boys, but I let you guys pick, and, Goonies it was. Yes, Pete, Batman the Animated Series is coming out on Blu-ray soon, and I will buy that as soon as I see some screenshots that they've actually cleaned it up enough. Okay, I'm going to buy it no matter what. I was watching Mask of the Phantasm on Blu-ray 2 nights ago again. It looks good enough for me. Best cartoon ever made. Bobo-esque just sharded, so that's cool. Thank you for sharing with the class. We appreciate it. Yeah, Chronic Lost Boys all the way, man. Cool, sexy vampires. I think the Lost Boys is really not even underrated, but underappreciated nowadays. It kind of just isn't remembered as much as I think it should be. I would go so far as to say it's my favorite vampire flick Yeah, the original Dracula is great with Lugosi. Well, I guess Nosferatu would be the original one, but I appreciate and respect those. But I'm going back Lost Boys. It's a fun movie. Realistically, it's just a fun movie. Best Joel Schumacher flick. Logan Michael, thank you very much. Best HBO series. I think it's Eastbound and Down. Eastbound and Down was a fantastic show. I loved it. Is it my favorite one? I don't know. HBO Spawn was pretty damn good too. Didn't see Westworld, but I want to. You know, Logan, I'm not trying to just agree with you, but from off the top of my head, what I can remember, I'm going to go with Eastbound and Down. I watched the shit out of the show, man. Kenny Powers all day, every day. Besides Mask of the Phantasm, what's the best Batman animated film? I'm glad you said besides Mask of the Phantasm. I'd like to cheat and tell you that World's Finest is the best Batman film, Batman Superman movie, but to be fair and technical, it's just 3 episodes of Superman edited together. So I'll go with The Dark Knight Returns, the 2012 movie that Peter Weller was the voice of Batman in. That's my favorite one outside of Mask of the Phantasm. Abomino, I like your plot for Back to the Future 4. I've seen The Wire. I've only seen like 2 episodes. I saw the part where they hit the kid in the eye and he went blind. That's about as far as I got with The Wire. Not that I dislike it, but I keep saying this, guys. I don't really have a lot of time to commit to TV shows. Like at night, if I'm not doing a live stream or on the High Council or working on a video, I'm trying to get some sleep to be up early so I don't ever miss the... That would be really terrible if I missed an episode of this show just because I overslept. Yeah, Batman Beyond Return of the Joker is excellent. Yeah, I'm not going to watch Westworld Season 2. I've heard about that stuff. Breaking Bad, David Applegate, is an AMC show, at least in the U.S. I don't know how it's distributed in your neck of the woods, but I think it's a Fox production and it's airing on AMC. Oh, Monster Squad. We love Monster Squad on the channel. We actually talk about it on this week's episode that's going to come out on Thursday. We talk about the documentary that's going to be made. So I'm giving you guys a little teaser. Instead of telling you about the whole episode, you just got to listen. It's a really good episode. Dion is the MVP of that show, hands down. He knows about his rants. And you did a great job, Dion. So, folks, one last time, the reason we're talking about Back to the Future Day today is because on this day in 1985, Back to the Future was released to cinemas, and best movie ever made to me. Best movie. So, nothing else will top it. Pink Flamingos. Yeah, I've heard of it. I met John Waters once at a Starbucks. It was kind of surreal because there he is with that shitty mustache in person. Ooh, Monsters Ball or Monster Squad. Halle Berry is naked in Monsters Ball, but I do prefer Monster Squad. Weekend at Bernie's is the greatest movie next to Back to the Future. This little thing called Star Wars doesn't matter when we're talking about Bernie Lomax. Logan Michael said Cecil did 9/11. Oof. Harsh words, my friend. A lot of Cecil hate going on. I feel bad for that guy. Now, Cecil's cool. I don't know if he did do it. I don't think Cecil could fly a plane. Bobo-esque, what does sex feel like? I wanted to ask your mom, but I don't know. I don't want to make your mom jokes on air. I feel that's too mean-spirited for my morning show. It's a very mellow time for me. I'm just relaxing and talking about entertainment to a couple hundred people. Thoughts on the 66 Batman series? Love it. Want to get it on Blu-ray. Adam West is the man. I'm a fan of all forms of Batman. Yes, even Ben Affleck has his merits, so there you go. But I've never seen the Batman serials from the 40s. But the 66 Batman show is really important, and I remember watching that a lot as a kid. It was on FX. I used to rent the movie quite a bit. And, oh man, when Adam West was the voice of the Gray Ghost, that part, it doesn't like make me sad or anything, but when Batman talks about how the Gray Ghost was his hero, that's the best moment of that animated show, hands down. Not Heart of Ice, not, Robin's Reckoning, all that stuff. Beware the Gray Ghost, when he says all that shit to Adam West about, you were my hero and all this shit. It's like, cool. Maybe in a different way, Adam West is getting his props for being the first big Batman. So it's plus it was in a point in his career where he didn't have Family Guy. He was typecast. His life was different. Thanks to Family Guy, Adam West really had a career revival and went down as Adam West, not as Batman. So that was kind of cool. Let's see. Which Jennifer Ash did you prefer in Back to the Future? Jeff, I'm not sure myself. I prefer Claudia Wells Jennifer. She's great looking. She's a good actress. And she's really cute. Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, I know why her mom got sick and she quit. Elizabeth Shue I think Elizabeth Shue is a good looking woman, but that wig they put on her, and she just overacts in that movie. So I prefer first Jennifer all day, every day. Kind of had the hots for her. I see Elizabeth Shue in Cocktail. No. I think she's in Leaving Las Vegas, though. So. Monstrous Ball, Monster Squadron, Mon Mothma. I'll go with Mon Mothma. Mon Mothma all day, every day. Many Baltans died to bring her the information, but she wasn't a bitch leader. She led it to Admiral Akbar, and Admiral Akbar led, the whole thing. So let's not forget that Admiral Akbar should have led that final suicide assault in The Last Jedi, because Admiral Akbar was a war hero from the Battle of Endor. But no, Admiral Holdo for reasons. A bone stock DeLorean. I don't know what a bone stock DeLorean is. I can't fit into a DeLorean. Like, it would just be uncomfortable as shit. Who was the guy they put in the Crispin Glover face molded mask? I think his name was like Jeffrey Weissman or something. Because as a kid, I didn't realize that wasn't Crispin Glover, because they show you the clip of George McFly in the beginning. And then in the end, or the middle of it, 2015, George McFly's upside down. So they really did a good job of tricking you. Seen a lot of love for first Jennifer. Good choice, good choice. Claudia Wells. Seems like a nice lady. When I worked at a comic book convention, I was walking into the show. They let me in the back way, and Principal Strickland walked in front of me. I was like, "Hey, Strickland!" It was cool. Holdo became Admiral Snack Bar. Yes, Kevin, he did sue them for using the likeness rights. I see. Yeah, no toys can fit in the Millennium Falcon. I saw that new Millennium Falcon on sale the other day, and I just thought, some poor kid, that's their first exposure to Star Wars toys. That Millennium Falcon, like at least the 95 one, was the same as the Kenner, and you had the compartment under the floor, 2 figures for the cockpit, the gunner's chair, all kinds of stuff. It was a big open toy. It was a lot of fun. Had landing ramp, everything. And then the 2010 one or 2008 one was even better. I prefer the hell out of that one. And by the way, folks, if you want to listen to me talk more about toys and stuff like that, make sure you listen to my Sunday night pop culture interview with our friend American Trent 421. Trent was a patron, or is still a patron, and he requested to be on the show. And that's what we got. So if you want something like that, a one-on-one with me, or to be something with the bullshitters, join the Patreon page, check out the tiers, and let's make that happen. Queen of the Damned. Joel loves that movie. He left the soundtrack in my car, and then he moved away, and I still have the CD. Vice Admiral, hold my beer. Okay, Lago Master, I got you. Isn't it weird that SJW Star Wars, we're supposed to celebrate Holdo and Luke committing suicide? Yeah, that is kind of weird. And did you guys see that thing where the ending of The Last Jedi is essentially the ending to Escape from L.A.? That's some bullshit. They plagiarized the ending. Logan Michael, thank you for your super chat. When is the next stream? Well, tomorrow we'll have Good Morning Pop Culture. Then there's nothing on Thursday. And there's really, that's it for the week. There's going to be some daily videos, but this is a light week on streams. So you guys will have to wait for the week of the 9th to get back into the swing of things with all the streams. It'd be nice to take a little break, but I got all kinds of stuff to do. Real life, like concerts and shit like that. I'm going to see Weezer. Vanilla Ice, Ice Cube, or Ice Tea? Vanilla Ice is not even an option. No, Ice Cube all the way. Ice Cube is a good actor, and I like his music, so Ice Cube wins. All right, see ya, Christian Stileski. Have a good night, my friend. Ooh, Cesaria Japan. Best question of the show. Thank you very much for your super chat. Tech and Back to the Future 2 you want to own. I want the pizza hydrator. I mean, yeah, I could say the flying car would be cool. Pizza hydrator would be even cooler because we all love pizza. It's weird though if you look back at that movie, a lot of the stuff has come true, like the TV, where you can talk to your TV and stuff like that. We should do a video here on the channel, like 10 pieces of technology from Back to the Future 2 that came true, because a lot of them did. And fax machines are out of style, but we still have instant messaging and stuff like that. But I do like the pizza hydrator, but I think the one I want the most would be the flying car. I hate to give you that basic answer, but holographic movies would be fun too. Like, I would be there to see Jaws 19 on opening day. Max Spielberg is my favorite director. Centurion Rex, I've never seen the movie Fist Fight. Who's your favorite guest villain in the 60s Batman series? Mine would be toss between the Joker and the Riddler. Well, they're both excellent choices. If I'm going, I really like to watch Julie Newmar as Catwoman because of reasons, because wow. And her interplay between her and Batman is excellent. But Cesar Romero Joker's great. Frank Gorshin Riddler, not John Aston Riddler. All those things. Eric Brown, I wish I saw Back to the Future in theaters, but I wouldn't be born for over 3 years, so you might be the only one in the chat this morning that saw Back to the Future in theaters. Do I want self-adjusting clothes? Nah, no, I'm good. I'll just, get stuff that fits my body better. I don't want to have to wear that ugly-ass jacket. Your jacket is now dry. Rose Taco, except she's 10 years out of date. Ugh. Ugh. Please don't talk about Rose's Taco. Claustoric, thank you very much for your super chat. I love your questions, dude. You must have like a list that you've compiled from listening to everything we've ever put out, and you're just waiting to ask me these. So, Claustoric says, good morning. Besides, or best and worst movie drinking buddy. Now, I assume you mean like from fictional characters. I think your best movie drinking buddy would probably be Dion Green from the World Class Bullshitters movie. No. I guess Ed from Shaun of the Dead would be a great drinking buddy, because after Liz dumps Shaun and stuff like that, I know Ed's a shitty friend, but as a drinking buddy, he's a lot of fun. Worst would probably be somebody like who's a flat lever that just leaves people. Bartleby and Loki from Dogma. They're the worst drinking buddies because they can't drink. They have to spit it back into a cup. That would be pretty funny. It'd be terrible to drink with them because even the Metatron ordered, dos tequilas, por favor, in an empty glass. And, can't do it. So they would be the worst. But best would be Ed from Shaun of the Dead for sure. Or Danny Butterman. Basically Nick Frost in any movie he's in with Simon Pegg. They would be the best drinking buddies. You saw Back to the Future 9 times in theaters? You lucky, lucky man. Logan Michael, Dion or Cecil? Dion, man. I've never met Cecil. Cecil's cool. He's very polite to me. It's funny. People are emailing me and calling me Jeffrey. I'm like, no, but whatever. But no, Dion all the way. It's my best friend. I'm not going to pick, some stranger guy over my best buddy. But Cecil's cool. He's a friend of the show. And he's cool. But he's no channel dad Brian Lape. Watch the Transformers 80s animated film. I will. I'll check it out. Press D for Dion. Oh, I've seen Caligula. Don't worry, Chronic. Peter Gilmore saw Star Wars and Back to the Future in theater. I would just love to know what people thought of it when they first saw it. Were they blown away like I was as a kid seeing this shit on tape? Like, wow, this is great. This is great. Lots of D's from Dion. There we go. Oh, you made your dad see the Black Cauldron that many times too, Eric? Ugh. 9 times. I love Godzilla movies, Comic Maker Joe. They're good. Ooh, wrestling question. Miss Elizabeth or Sunny? Well, Sunny's fun, but I don't like the risk of STDs, so I'm going to go with Miss Elizabeth. Rest in peace, Miss Elizabeth. Should have been Sunny. I know that sounds really harsh. If you don't know who that is, don't worry about it. She's not that cool. Anthony Bourdain would have been the best drinking buddy. Rick Ray, thank you for your super chat. 14 years old in 1977. Star Wars blew the entire audience away. I've listened to the clip from Star Wars where you hear Han Solo come and save Luke at the Death Star and the entire theater erupted in cheers. Man, I wish I could experience that. Because now when you go see Star Wars, everyone's just like, yeah, I've seen this movie 45 times. Yay. I just want like the raw excitement. Like I wish they would do an episode 4 screening at Star Wars Celebration. I don't care if I've seen the movie 300 times like I have. I would definitely go and spend the time to watch it with an audience of people. That would be so much fun. John Cipolla, Cecil's a sidekick over on the High Council, but he doesn't really show up too much anymore. Maybe he'll show up tonight, or maybe he'll try to show up EVS. I don't know. My parents remember the excitement with Empire Strikes Back and the Darth Vader reveal. Was your dad Homer Simpson and he ruined it for everybody as he walked out of the theater? With the remake of Bond, I think remake of Jaws, Oddjob, Bambi and Thumper, and Mr. Winton Kid would be a gold mine. Well, they technically did reboot Bond with Daniel Craig. That's a new Bond universe. I don't know if I'd want them to. They're already starting to remake the classic movies, like underneath the guise of just calling them new films. Lots of the fans are telling me they saw Star Wars and how it was a religious experience. What film characters would you want to have in a knockdown, drag-out brawl? I'd like to throw Indiana Jones in there because that dude never gave up. He took some beatings, but he came back. So Indiana Jones in his prime versus John McClane. No, none of those guys, man, they would both have to die at the same time. That would be the craziest fight because they beat the shit out of each other. Any PS2 Bond games I want to see as a movie. I'd have watched an Everything or Nothing movie around 2005 or 6. That would have been cool. Nightfire could have made a pretty interesting movie. Those two would be it for me. Agent Under Fire, not so much of a fan. I do own it. I have like 3 copies of that game for some reason. Sean Connery, Sean Bean, Sean Astin, or Shawn Michaels. Well, the Shawn Michaels you spelled as the porn star Shawn Michaels. So honestly though, I'm still going with Sean Connery. He's the fucking man. Your parents saw Raiders of the Lost Ark on their honeymoon? What a cool honeymoon. God. Indiana Jones and a honeymoon. Thoughts on The Rocketeer? Well, Jennifer Connelly looks great in that movie. And The Rocketeer is a movie I watched a couple times as a kid. It was one of those weirder movies, like you'd rent it because you wanted a live action something. And there's also a movie that I kept forgetting that I liked or disliked. I just watched it. So it's fine. I like the comic book more because his girlfriend's Betty Page, and that's kind of cool. And as a kid, I didn't have a Rocketeer toy, but I had a Rocketeer candy dispenser that was a little body, and I used to play with that. They did a lot of little candy dispenser action figures that you could get, and you would eat the candy and then have a toy to play with. I miss those. Those were a lot of fun. They had a really good Batman Returns one that looked just like Michael Keaton. It was quite weird. I saw Temple of Doom and Revenging the Stone as a double feature in a drive-in Rockford, Illinois when I was 7 years old. What a double feature. Holy shit. Mahler being on the High Council, like I say, guys, it's kind of hard for a time difference thing, a time zone thing. I get a lot of guests here on World Class Bullshitters, and I can work with them on their time zones since they're, European people. So maybe I'll just invite Geeks and Gamers and Ethan Van Sciver to be on our show for that. It won't be a High Council, but it'll still be a High Council, if you know what I mean. I do not like the idea of a gender-swapped Rocketeer, and I will not support it. Best Evil Dead movie is Evil Dead 2, followed closely by Army of Darkness, and then the first one's pretty good too. I remember Back to the Future was on the first VHS that I saw being recorded by hooking up 2 VCRs. So Back to the Future was your first bootleg, is what you're trying to tell me. That's fine. I dig it. Yes, Jennifer Connelly is a babe. Man, there's all this Buckaroo Banzai I love. I'm going to watch it as soon as I can now. Tippy Tail McKitty. I saw Return of the Jedi as a double feature with A Christmas Story. Excellent. Excellent. I love both of those movies quite a bit. My first bootleg was the 1990 Captain America. You got hosed, my friend. I remember watching that movie on a legal videotape that I rented from Blockbuster. It was a... God, that movie's fucking terrible. Ugh. Name something Sean Bean hasn't died in. Didn't he survive in Silent Hill? I can't think of anything else. I mean, he survived in real life. There we go. He didn't die in real life. No, I do not have a VCR. I have a VCR DVD combo that's like in a box somewhere. And there's a VCR in a box, but I don't use the VCR. Let me rephrase. I do have a VCR somewhere in the house. I just haven't used it in years. Oh, Sean Bean survived in National Treasure. Okay. Thank you, Coyote99. I appreciate that compliment. He survived in Ronin, My Favorite Martian. Well, Frank, the way you describe a VCR to a kid in the future is much like you would explain it to a kid of the current era, because you just explain it to them like, you put this in and the movie starts to play. Much like a disc, you just put it in and it'll start playing eventually. I mean, you could easily do it. You could get your kids to know how to rewind, but I think VCRs and cassettes and stuff suck. I know there's this whole vinyl resurgence, and that's great. If you're into vinyl resurgence, cool, press F. I respect that. I picked up a couple because they're based on my favorite movies, but I want the best format possible, best picture quality, best sound quality. I don't care about the nostalgia niche of a VHS tape. I think VHS tapes sucked back then, and they still suck now. DVDs were way better. Blu-rays are better than DVDs. My favorite Japanese wrestler now is Shinsuke Nakamura. I don't really watch a lot of New Japan Pro Wrestling because I don't have access to it, so... My thoughts on the 1994 Shadow film starring Alec Baldwin. It was okay. I didn't like it that much back then. I think it's fine. I would watch it again nowadays as an adult. I think the ending's awesome. And I think that style was definitely, like, the pulp style is cool, but that movie is very reminiscent of Batman 89 because that's the first modern superhero movie that made a bunch of money, and it's very influenced by that. But I don't dislike it at all. I haven't seen Once Upon a Time in America. Thanks for the ride, lady. Is that Creepshow too? I love me some Creepshow. Guys, if you like horror and stuff like that, I'm trying to work out a couple collaborations for October. I'm going to try to reach out to We Watched a Movie, but I haven't heard anything back from them. There's a channel that a podcast that I listen to called Bloody Good Horror. I'd like to try to get involved with them. It's funny. They're the reason I got into podcasting, and then we've surpassed them. So I should write them an email and tell them thanks for, inspiring me to get us where we are. Logan Michael, thank you for your super chat. Roger or Steve from American Dad? I'll go with Steve. Wait. Steve, isn't Stan the dad? I don't really like Roger the Alien. I'm not really a American Dad fan. Seth MacFarlane cartoons are okay. I like Family Guy enough. But that guy's not as funny to me as he is to most people. I think he's got a great singing voice, and I'd listen to him sing stuff over another season of Family Guy any day. I have also listened to the Shadow radio show. I used to listen to it as a kid on 1530 WSAI. It was on at night. My grandma would let me use her. My grandma had a Walkman, and she'd let me listen to it on there. So That was kind of cool. Oh, Steve's the son. I'll go with Steve. He's the least offensive character. The wife's not that bad either. Patrick Stewart's cool. Good, the bad, and the ugly wins every day of the week. Yeah, I only watched the first 2 Terminator films as well. I like these either-or questions, guys. Give me some hard ones. Give me some, entertainment dilemmas, like, Back to the Future or whatever. Like, give me some really hard questions. I want to end this show strong. It's been a nice, mellow show this morning, talking about Back to the Future, talking about pretty much whatever you want. We'll be back tomorrow doing the Star Wars thing, so we'll get tons of people checking that out. The Buddy Lee channel, thank you very much for your super chat. Does Lucasfilm have to report the total cost of Solo and an earnings call to Disney? Just mulling over if we'll ever know the actual numbers. I think because it's a publicly traded company, they have to. I know that WWE is publicly traded and their information comes out, so I'm going to go with, yeah. I'm hoping it does, the Buddy Lee channel. I want to know the truth. They can't really brush Solo under the rug. That video I put out yesterday with the article from Yahoo really was a very center approach on the subject. It wasn't political. They didn't say SJWs or this and that. I think that was the best article to ever come out about the topic at hand. So I think that now that something like that exists, we have to have the truth come out in terms of numbers, because people are paying attention more than ever before. Damn it, Die Hard versus Batman. I'm going to go with Die Hard. Fuck. That's a good one. Now, Midnight Cherry TV, thank you very much for your super chat. Tell me a Doc and Marty team up with the Mystery Men tale. Well, Doc and Marty go to 1999 New York. And here we go. Marty is accidentally kidnapped by Frankenstein Casanova, or Casanova Frankenstein, and the Mystery Men somehow hear Doc Brown coming up with a machine to rescue Marty, and they all work together, and Doc Brown replaces the Sphinx as their weapons. No, Dr. Heller was the guy that made the weapons. Say it with me. Heller. Instead of Heller, Doc Brown makes them some weapons. And Doc Brown's like, well, I got plutonium. So they basically make a nuclear weapon to attack Casanova Frankenstein, and Marty dies in the process. So Doc has to go back and stop himself from making that weapon and do a second approach. So that would be cool. That's my Marty McFly and Doc Brown team up with the Mystery Men. There you go, Midnight Cherry TV. Logan Michael, Bill Cosby, or Kevin Spacey? I don't like either one, so this is hard. But I'll go with, I think Kevin Spacey's been in better stuff. I don't condone what they did in their personal lives. Fuck them both for that. But Kevin Spacey was in The Negotiator and a whole bunch of movies that I really enjoy. I hate The Cosby Show. I don't think Bill Cosby's funny at all. So I'm going with Kevin Spacey. Riggs or Murtaugh? K&J. Who's K&J? Dion, I prefer shipping and handling myself. WrestleMania 17 or 18? Oh my God. Fucking amazing question. But WrestleMania 17. Best WrestleMania of all time. My first WrestleMania, Rock Stone Cold #2 is the best Rock Stone Cold match of all three. WrestleMania 17 is a perfect show. Perfect show. Macho Man versus Rowdy Piper. Macho Man Randy Savage all day, every day. Macho Man is one of the greatest on the mic of all time, one of the greatest in the ring of all time. And he came through Cincinnati on the Reds Farm League. So there's a little home nostalgia there. I've heard of Kenta Kobashi, but I've never seen a match. Only Japanese match I've seen lately was Kenny Omega versus Chris Jericho. I'm a big Kenny Omega guy. I think he's cool. I like Cody Rhodes. Ross Skywalker, Rock versus Hogan. Fans were going apeshit. I was going apeshit. Back in the day when that was live, this office that I'm in now was my bedroom. And I remember I had my DirecTV box hooked up here, and I'm sitting on the floor watching The Rock versus Hulk Hogan. And I had been a wrestling fan for over 2 years at that point, and The Rock had lost the last 2 WrestleManias, so I thought he was going to lose again. No, last 3 WrestleManias. He lost at 15, 16, and 17. So I'm getting ready for The Rock to lose to Hulk Hogan again, and he won. And I don't care that the crowd was behind Hogan. I was behind The Rock. Obi-Wan 27883. Thank you for your super chat. The Happening or The Last Jedi? Sorry. It's funny you bring up The Happening. We talked about it on the show that's going to go live this Thursday. I'm going to go with The Happening. I hate The Last Jedi. I will never fucking watch it ever again as long as I live. or unless you guys vote for it in a commentary and we get, 1,000 people to watch the entire time. Put it like that. I'll do a Last Jedi watch party, but we need 1,000 people consistently watching the fucking thing the entire time. Once it dips below 1,000, there's a 2-minute window, and then I'll stop it right there. That's the only way I'll watch it. I'm going to make you guys suffer the whole thing with me, and we better be blowing up those super chats for that one, because I'm going to need to buy a ton of alcohol and I guess some antidepressant meds after that. But The Happening, I can sit through The Happening. I prefer regular IMAX over 3D IMAX, but I'm okay if I have to see a standard release. Nowadays, the theaters are all digital anyway, so you still get a great picture out of it. Back to the Future 2 and 3 had secondary titles. What would they be? You could say Back to the Future 2, was it, :2015 or :1885, but I don't know. Maybe something the Wild West and something of the future. I do like how they're just parts 2 and 3, but I could see people coming up with really cool subtitles for them, and that wouldn't suck. Ooh, the Grand Inquisitor, excellent question. Jennifer Connelly versus Alicia Silverstone, smash pass. Jennifer Connelly, all day, every day. Alicia Silverstone, hot woman of the 90s, still looks great, but I like Jennifer Connelly's looks and stuff, so there we go. Jennifer Connelly is my type of lady. Hacksaw Jim Duggan or Tito Santana? Ho! I'm going with Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Braveheart or Gladiator? Gladiator. Scarface versus Heat. Oh, man. That's a fucking hard one, because I just saw Heat, and I loved it. But I'm going to go with Scarface for the 80s setting. Al Pacino as Tony Montana beats Al Pacino as whatever character he played in Heat. Both great movies, but I'm going to go with Scarface all day, every day. Conan the Beastmaster. Conan the Barbarian. Yeah, Jennifer Connelly from the early 90s. My God. Kristen Stewart or Lindsay Lohan. Neither. They both suck. Neither can act. They're okay looking at best. They don't serve much of a purpose. I can't stand them. Back to the Future, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Back to the Future. Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade isn't even my favorite Indiana Jones flick of the trilogy. And yeah, there's only 3 of them. First, Back to the Future all day, every day. Now, if you say which trilogy is better, Indiana Jones wins, because I don't like Back to the Future 3 that much. I would rather watch all the Indiana Jones movies, but the first Back to the Future beats every other movie ever made. I pick Silence of the Lambs between that or Manhunter. Ooh, Rowdy Roddy Piper, Jake the Snake Roberts. There's a lot of wrestling love. I'm so happy. I'm going to go with Jake the Snake Roberts. Well, Jake the Snake Roberts has a better theme and cuts better promos, but I like Piper's. I like them both equally. I hate to say it, but if I have to pick one, I'll go Jake the Snake. Old school WrestleMania or old school Starrcade? WrestleMania. I'm a WWF guy through and through. There are bad moments to WrestleManias, but I would rather watch the Vince McMahon product overall. Tony Soprano or Michael Corleone? Ooh, I've never seen The Godfather, so I have to say Tony Soprano. I'm sorry. Jeremy Piven or Jeremy Irons? Well, Jeremy Irons is a fantastic actor, but I'm going to go with Jeremy Piven because of his fucking hairline. Oh, here's a great question from Respect Whammon. Favorite scene / moment in Back to the Future? My favorite moment in Back to the Future is the very end. The roads where we're going, we don't need roads. And yeah, I just flipped down my sunglasses that you can't see. That's how much of a nerd I am for this fucking movie. That's my favorite part of Back to the Future. I like all of it, though. There's not a... that is my favorite. And the 2 other moments that are my favorite are very small. They're just dialogue lines. Take that, you mutated son of a bitch, when he shoots the fucking... I'm just cracking up thinking about it. Sorry. I just saw Old Man Peabody shoot shoot at him. And then a dumb line that I love for Back to the Future that no one else likes is when George goes, "Now, Biff, don't con me." I say that all the time to people. Like, if they're bullshitting me, I'm like, "Now, insert name, don't con me." And I love that part so much. So, Rhodes, mutated son of a bitch, and don't con me. Those are my 3 favorite moments of Back to the Future. Fantastic question. Yeah, Jesus, You Smoke Too is funny. There's not a single second of that movie I dislike. Man, it's edited perfectly. God, I want to watch it so bad right now. McDonald's, Burger King, or Wendy's? McDonald's sucks. Burger King sucks. I'll go with Wendy's, even though my local Wendy's is garbage. Overall, I prefer to eat their food. Yeah, respect women. That's a good scene. It's funny when I read your question. That's the first scene that popped into my mind because the music, the Back to the Future fanfare swells, and then you hear the Marvin Berry and the Starlighters sing on the Earth Angel part, and then as soon as they kiss, Marty perks up and he starts playing the guitar, and Dave and Linda appear back into the picture, and he waves. That's a cool scene. That's a very, very cool scene. I like it a lot. Let's see. Make like a tree and get out of here. Make like a tree and leave, you moron. Oh man, I love everyone that's talking about their favorite Back to the Future moments. By the way, folks, if people ask me a question, I hope you guys chime in with your favorite, your answer to those questions too, so we can keep the dialogue open. Worst wrestling promo is probably that Roman Reigns one where he like looks like a deer in the headlights, or Jumpin' Jeff Farmer, or they say all this stuff and he goes, "Yep," and that's it. Or the what's his fucking face, Sid Vicious, where he is like, "Can we go back and redo it again?" And he's like, "Well, this is live." Oh shit. Logan Michael, 90s NECA or McFarlane? Go with oh god. I'll go with McFarlane. They had some stuff that interested me as a kid. I don't even know what NECA made in the 90s. Plus, McFarlane had that Movie Masters line or whatever. So that was cool. I think he stole his wallet. That's part two. That's part two. That guy, when I was a kid, I was like, is that Ross from Friends? Clearly, it's not David Schwimmer, but it looks just like him. Caddyshack or Happy Gilmore? That is hard as hell to answer because Happy Gilmore is so much fun and really one of Adam Sandler's best flicks. But Caddyshack is an all-time classic. I think Caddyshack and Happy Gilmore they mean the same to people from different generations, if that makes sense. Like if you grew up in the 80s and you saw Caddyshack, you loved it. And if you grew up in the 90s and you saw Happy Gilmore, you loved it too. I think they kind of equal each other in many ways. Personally, I'll go with Caddyshack well, I don't know. There are parts of Caddyshack I don't really like. I'll go with Happy Gilmore. Yeah, I love Chevy Chase and Rodney Dangerfield, but man, Happy Gilmore's awesome. Shooter McGavin? And I'll see you in the parking lot. That's a great movie. Goodfellas versus Scarface. Ooh, that's tough. If I want a traditional gangster picture, I'm going to go with Goodfellas. But I still like Scarface. I like the soundtrack. I like the violence. I like everything about both of those movies. So those are... and yeah, I agree there wouldn't be a Happy Gilmore if there wasn't a Caddyshack. I like both of those movies quite a bit. But I think because I did grow up in the 90s and I watched it a lot, I do have that connection to Happy Gilmore. But Caddyshack's great. I don't like Kenny Loggins that much. But, that's just me. I think Harold Ramis directed Caddyshack, right? So, Harold Ramis is awesome. Ooh, Rodney Dangerfield or Chevy Chase? I'm going with Chevy Chase because Fletch. Obi-Wan 2783, thank you for your super chat. Tombstone or Macho Man? Macho Man. Macho Man all the time, man. Macho Man. Crow sequels or Star Wars sequels? Crow sequels. John Candy or Chris Farley? Chris Farley. I don't know. I'm going to go with Chris Farley because I think John Candy had kind of reached his creative peak. Chris Farley had just kind of been getting started, so that would have been cool to see where he went. Scarface or Carlito's Way? Or just Carlito? I'm all Scarface. Stopper, My Mom Will Shoot, or Cobra? Ooh, this is the toughest one. Cobra. Dion and I have some good memories of Cobra. We watched that one night drunk, and it kept playing that song, working all day, working on something, trying to make a living, got to keep on hustling. We kept singing that song to each other for about a year. Art Vandalay, thank you for your super chat. Mad Dog Tannen versus Strickland. Oh, man. Strickland. Mad Dog Tannen fell into manure, and he hates manure. Yeah, Strickland, I like, what's his name, James Tolkien. He was also in Top Gun. Good actor. Thomas F. Wilson's a better actor, in my opinion. I really like him and Biff and all that stuff. If you would have said Biff or Strickland, it would have been Biff. But Mad Dog Tannen, I'm going with Strickland. So let's see. Chaos Zig said, I watched Back to the Future for its 25th anniversary, and it's just as good as today as it was in 1985. Yeah, it holds up. Partially because it takes place in 85, therefore it's not trying to be modern. It tells you the exact date of the movie, and it doesn't. It can't become dated, if that makes sense. I don't know how to explain that more eloquently than I did earlier. Executive decision or Air Force One? Air Force One. Come on, man. Get off my plane. Harrison Ford is my president. Alien Nation or They Live? They Live. That's a fantastic film. Best one-liners, Predator or Commando? I gotta go with Commando. Predator is a better film, but the only one off the top of my head I can think of is Stick Around. From Commando, you got Let Off Some Steam, Bennett. Sully, remember when I told you I'd kill you last? I lied. Excuse my friend, he's dead tired. All kinds of those. There are just so many in Commando. Predator, Dylan, you son of a bitch. I don't even think that's a one-liner. It's just a line. Logan Michael says, anime is trash. I don't have a big anime collection. I wouldn't call it trash, but I would not call myself, was it an otaku or whatever the preferred word is besides weeaboo? I don't really dislike Japanese stuff. I really do like some of the anime and some of the manga. It just depends on the story. I think they have a wider variety in their entertainment than we do in terms of animation and comics. We focus on kids and shit like that, and now they push weird agendas into it. At least over there, they have crazy ideas. You can get stuff that appeals to kids, adults, women, men. There's something for everybody. I think they have the illustrated market down in terms of variety. Let's see. Running Man, Arnold, I'll be back. Richard Dawson. It's only a rerun. Hulk Hogan album or Terry Funk album? I'll go with Hulk Hogan. Cheese or durians? Choose one. Cheese. Isn't durians those nasty fruit? No, wait. That's a different. I don't know. Cheese is cool. Depends. Yeah, Forgotten Crowd. I think that's the most awesome way to put that. Some are good, some are bad. Yes, Unchained Jimmy, today is the 33rd anniversary of Back to the Future. It was released on July 3rd, 1985, where a time before most of us were born and the internet wasn't really a thing the way it is now. Other films that were released in 1985 that are excellent: Weird Science. I don't know why all of a sudden my mind drew a blank when I wanted to talk about Real Genius. 1985 also saw National Lampoon's European Vacation, which I wouldn't call excellent, but I do really like it. And we had Fletch. 1985 was a pretty solid year. Plus, Beverly Hills Cop came out in December of 84. So a lot of the Axel Foley love started in 1985. 1985 is obviously it's the middle of the decade, but it's when you had the best time of the 80s for me. Even though I wasn't alive. That's when I would say the most. If I had to go back to 1985 at this point, a lot of my favorite stuff existed. I could catch Fletch. I could catch Back to the Future. I could watch Beverly Hills Cop and listen to Axel F on tape or record or CD. Cesario Japan, thank you. Gallagher, Sam Kinison, or Andrew Dice Clay? Well, they all have their merits. As an adult, I like Sam Kinison the best. As a kid, I liked Andrew Dice Clay because I'm like, oh, he said this and that and talked about pussy, and I laughed as a kid because you're hearing those dirty words and you think it's funnier than it is. But something about Sam Kinison yelling just gets to me. And you know who does a great Sam Kinison impression is Phil. The Dr. Phil Seitz, who used to be on the show. He does excellent Sam Kinison impersonations. Bill Hicks or Dennis Leary? Well, Bill Hicks is my uncle. Not really. But I'll pick him. I think he was a lot smarter than... Oh, no, Dennis Leary. I'm thinking of Dennis Miller. I don't like Dennis Miller. Ooh, that's a tougher question because I do like Dennis Leary. I can't give you guys their equal because I feel like that's a shit cop-out answer. I'll still go with Bill Hicks. Yeah, Lape. I see how we are to you. You pause the show and you come back later. God damn it, Channel Dad. You're fucking up. Best Yes song. I think it's Roundabout. That's a super chat from Logan Michael. Thank you very much. Owner of a Lonely Heart. I'll go with that as the best Yes song. I prefer Owner of a Lonely Heart. It's on my phone. I listen to it quite a bit. Richard Pryor or Eddie Murphy? Oh, man. I know Richard Pryor's a stand-up god, but Eddie Murphy, because he did movies I actually enjoy watching outside of Silver Streak, See No Evil, Hear No Evil. I like a lot of Richard Pryor movies, but I love a lot of Eddie Murphy movies. So that's my answer. Two Live Crew of the Fat Boys. I'll go with Fat Boys. Robotech or Transformers? I'll go with. I've seen a lot of Transformers. I've never seen any I've only seen like a couple Robotech things. Now, Robotech was that anime that was comprised of a bunch of different series, right? Like Macross, whatever, and a few other things. So I just will go with Transformers because I've been exposed to more of it. Favorite 80s song? Well, my favorite 80s song is my favorite song, Everybody Wants to Rule the World by Tears for Fears. I've tried to incorporate it many times in videos, but it never just feels natural, so I just don't worry about it. But if you go back and listen to episode 85 of World Class Bullshitters on streaming, that song's played because it came out in 1985, and, 1985 was like an awesome year. Ooh, Logan Michael, excellent question. Pizza or tacos? I'm going to go with pizza because tacos are excellent, but I prefer pizza because pizza to me has more variety. And I like pineapple on pizza. Press F if you're pissed. Rob Duke. Ooh, Deep Throat, Taboo, or Behind the Green Door? I go with Deep Throat. It's funnier. Gene Wilder or Mean Gene Okerlund? Gene Wilder. Come on. Willy Wonka. Love Mean Gene Okerlund. Respect the hell out of him. Gene Wilder, when he died, I was genuinely sad. I was like, oh, man, Willy Wonka died. That's one of those actors I was just like, fuck, man. Because I held that movie in such high regard. I still do. And I know he's just a person playing a role, but you think of Willy Wonka as this eccentric character that will live on forever, and then he's dead and whatever. But Gene Wilder. Anthony Mata, thank you very much for your generous super chat. Which is better, WWF/WWE themed matches, steel cage, tables, ladders, and chairs? Mine is TLC because the Hardy Boys, Dudley Boys, Edge, and Christian. Ooh, I like those. I like the TLC matches with the Hardy Boys, Dudley Boys, and Edge and Christian. I've seen them all. I enjoy the hell out of them. Those are better than steel cage matches. Steel cage matches are fun, but some of them end with bullshit endings, and some of them don't even have the high spots that a steel cage match should have. Every TLC match has a moment that is awesome. Hell, if you even watch the TLC match that took place on SmackDown back in 2001, where Jericho and Benoit won the tag team titles, or maybe that's where they lost the tag team titles. But my point is that TLC match was pretty damn good. TLC is fantastic. Now, there are other WWF/E themed matches. Like I like Hell in a Cell matches, but I'm still going TLC matches. I've been fortunate enough to see a lot of Money in the Bank ladder matches live. I've seen a lot of Hell in a Cell matches live. I don't think I've ever seen a TLC match live, but I want to. I just don't think they'll be able to do it the way. Wait. No, wait. WrestleMania 33 was just a ladder match. I was there for that. I've been to the last 13 WrestleMania, so that's a good question, though, Anthony Mata. I like that question quite a bit. And now I kind of want to go back and watch TLC matches today. We'll start with SummerSlam because technically WrestleMania 2000 was a triangle ladder match. We start with SummerSlam, WrestleMania 17, and God, that'd be a great way to spend this weekend. On 4th of July, that's what I'll do tomorrow. After the Good Morning Pop Culture show, I'll watch wrestling and drink beer all day. What's more American than that? Klaus Stork, thank you very much for your super chat. What movie or TV dad would you like as your dad? Won't be listening tomorrow, so happy birthday to your mom. Word to your mother. Oh, Klaus Stork, you always impress me with your questions. My favorite TV dad, not to sound sad, but like I've said on other episodes, my dad died right after I was born. So I didn't really think about which TV dad I'd like to have as a little kid. I just watched them. But looking back, Tim the Toolman Taylor would be a dad I'd like to have because he was very involved with his sons. So you kind of want that. You don't really want like Al Bundy because Al Bundy's funny, but he really is a piece of shit dad. Danny Tanner was kind of lame, so I wouldn't want him as a dad. Philip Banks was a good dad because yes, his kids were rich. Let's just get it out of the way. Who wouldn't want to have a rich dad? Oh, I'm gonna live in the pool house. Daddy, I want a Mercedes. Daddy, I want that. Come on, that would be an awesome life. And he was good too. I'm like, he wasn't emotionally detached or an alcoholic or anything like that. So it's either Tim the Toolman Taylor or Philip Banks from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I think they were both excellent TV dads. Bill Cosby, no. We know how he really was. I'm trying to think about some other TV dads that I really... I don't know if I'd say the dad from Family Ties, Stephen Keaton. Maybe there. I don't really like... I wouldn't want hippie parents, so... Sticking with Tim the Toolman Taylor. Logan Michael, favorite Green Day song? The only Green Day song I don't hate is Holiday. I'm not a Green Day fan. If I listen to, like, what was it, their punk rock, I like Dead Kennedys for punk rock. If you would have met me 10 years ago, I was in my Dead Kennedys phase where I wasn't, like, dressing weird or anything like that. I just wore jeans and t-shirts all the time. But man, Dead Kennedys, Dion can attest to that. I'm really glad I'm through that phase. Duran Duran or Tears for Fears? Ooh, that's tough. I went out of my way to see Tears for Fears in concert with Dion last year and Hillary. But I'll go with Tears for Fears because they have my favorite song as well as a handful of other ones. But Duran Duran had some great hits too. Due to a Kill, The Reflex, Hungry Like the Wolf, Rio, Girls on Film. Those are all great songs. That's a kick-ass band. In their prime, Michael Jordan or Mike Tyson? Michael Jordan. All-time greatest basketball player. Not even a sports guy. And Michael Jordan all day, every day. LaRue OBR 5.56. Thank you for your super chat. I greatly appreciate that. There's no message, but thank you. Bat Boy Slim or Beastie Boys? Beastie Boys all day, every day. They had a lot of great hits. Fatboy Slim, I can think of like the Rockefeller Skank or Weapon of Choice. And the only reason I like Weapon of Choice is because of the Christopher Walken music video. Bret Michaels or Logan Michael? Ooh, there's your question. Well, Bret Michael gave us some great songs, but Logan Michael has really asked some great questions because he likes to talk about toys. And as you guys know, I can talk about toys for like 12 hours straight. How often do people not get your movie or TV references? Quite a bit. If I sneak them in, like the one I use the most that no one ever gets, and I'll just tell you guys, is from Fletch, where he goes, "No, never, never." I say that all the time, but no one. And people just think I'm saying no to something, but I go, "No, never, never." And people are just like, "Oh, okay." Nobody ever gets that one. I know it's really obscure and stupid to many people, but that's the one that no one has ever been like, "Ah, Fletch, I get it." You know, somebody talked about that Pederast Hanrahan or something, and I caught that, or they caught it, but that one from Fletch. I'd say it's like 70% they get it because I pick easy ones. I could go really obscure. Like a lot of times people ask me what I want to drink, and I'll say a Tab or Pepsi Perfect or stuff like that, because Pepsi Perfect is from Back to the Future 2. So that's even more obscure. Holiday in Cambodia. That's a great song. I got it on my phone, multiple versions, live and recorded. Beatles versus Rolling Stones. I'll go with Rolling Stones. I don't really like the Beatles that much. WWF, WWE, or World War II, or World Wide Web. I'm going to go with World Wide Web because it gives us access to this show. And I like doing this show. So WWF's a close second, though. Journey or Foreigner. I don't really like either band. So I'll go with Foreigner because Cold as Ice is a good song. Hybrid Theory or Meteora? Hybrid Theory. Logan Michael, dang it, Bobby. Oh, man, Hank Hill is a close third for favorite TV dad. But I wouldn't want him as my dad. I'd rather have the other two guys, but I still like Hank Hill quite a bit. If they remade Fletch, who would play Fletch? I know this has been thrown out there quite a bit, but I'll go with Jason Sudeikis. I feel like he's got the sarcasm of Chevy Chase down pretty well. So him, or if they don't remake it, I'm even happier with that. Foul Play is a good Chevy Chase movie. Yes, it is. I also like Seems Like Old Times, Modern Problems, some of the lesser known ones. I'm a Chevy Chase fan. I wish they would do a Chevy Chase Blu-ray box set. I'd buy them all. I like him. He's kind of a relic of the 80s that people don't talk about, but you know, I appreciate him. Oh man, I'm reading some of these questions. TIE Fighter or X-Wing? X-Wing. I like the Rebel Alliance over the Empire. Plus, I wouldn't mind owning an X-Wing. TIE Fighters can't go into hyperspace. X-Wings can, so I'd rather be able to travel in hyperspace. Best Kurt Russell movie? Or just Kurt Russell movies in general. I like Kurt Russell movies. The Thing is my favorite Kurt Russell movie. Big Trouble in Little China's up there. What was that one he was in with Goldie Hawn? Overboard? I like that movie quite a bit. It's probably like my favorite romantic comedy, if that even is considered one. So those three. Cheese or bacon? Oh, that's rough. I'm gonna go with cheese because cheese goes. I mean, you can eat both by themselves, but cheese just I don't know. It's in more things. I think you need cheese more than bacon. Riggs or McLean? McLean. Woodstock 69, 94, or 99? Well, Limp Bizkit did play at Woodstock 99, so I'll go 69. Fill in the blank. Kathleen Kennedy is see you next Tuesday. Favorite Star Wars ship is, well, fighter ship. Favorite ship's the Millennium Falcon. Fighter ship is X-Wing. The vacation movies are the best. I love the vacation movies. Clark W. Griswold is tied for my favorite movie dad. If that's a movie dad I'd want to have, Clark W. Griswold, because they're kind of like, they have money, they live in the suburbs of Chicago, and he doesn't really cause his kids problems. He's an idiot, but he just bores them and takes up a lot of their time, other than that. I have never seen the Private Eye series or Spencer for Hire. All right, folks. Well, we're about to end it out. Somebody send me something crazy to be a final one. We haven't had one that's a good way to close this episode out. So I'll wait for a minute while I give you the outro. Oh, my God. Okay. Ricky Young may have won already. Favorite joke from Eddie Murphy stand-ups? From Raw, my favorite ones are either the Bill Cosby part, you cannot say fuck. And then he calls up Richard Pryor. He tells Bill to have a Coke and a smile and shut the fuck up. That always makes me laugh. I like Half. That's funny. The two Eddie Murphy stand-up specials are iconic. I think he gets a bad rap nowadays because he's made bad movies for 20 years. But if you look back at his old library of shit, he made some of the best stuff too. So Eddie Murphy, I guess, falls into being average because he had greatness and, the worst of the worst, and it just evens it out to be okay at best. But those are two of my favorites. I do like the sodomy honeymooners from Delirious. I like the gay people as the police sirens. That makes me laugh. Oh, gay Mr. T's great too. Caesarea, Japan. I've never seen Hell Comes to Frogtown. I've heard about it, and thank you for your super chat, but I've never seen it. So I need to check it out because I'm a Rowdy Roddy Piper fan. I respect the album. I got to meet him, so that was cool. And rest in peace, Rowdy Roddy Piper. Yes, Geeks and Gamers is hosting the High Council this week. Thank you guys for knowing the schedule. I appreciate it. World Class Bullshitters will have it on the 17th. And guess what? I've been talking to Razor Fist, so that's probably going to happen when it's back on my channel. EVS has it on the 10th. I have it on the 17th. And I only have it once in July. Ethan Allen or Ethan Van Sciver? Well, I do like furniture. A nice couch or chair is comfortable. But Ethan Van Sciver is a friend, so that's pretty cool too. So I'll go with him because I know him. What was Eddie Murphy movie with Steve Martin? It was Bowfinger. Well, Brian Chief, happy birthday on my High Council night. Logan Michael, you ever sat on the toilet and take a big old shit and water splashes up on your ass? When Eddie Murphy was trying to be Richard Pryor? Was that the one, what does that chunk want? Oh, man. That's hilarious. That's that's a good way to close it out. Oh, 80 Scott Steiner, man. No, it's Scott Steiner math. That would have been a way to end that. Well, happy birthday to you, ARC Trooper Knox. I hope you have a good birthday. Trading Places is excellent. God, it's weird. At the end of the show, the questions start getting really good, and they keep it rolling. Ross Skywalker, I thought about that the other day. You're all fucked in the head. We're 30 miles from the fucking fun park, and you want to go back? Oh, that is great. That is great. So, folks, tomorrow is the 4th of July. I don't expect a huge turnout, but hey, we'll be talking about our favorite movie presidents. We'll be talking about Captain America. It's going to be a very patriotic, without being preachy, episode of World Class Bullshitters. And as always, bring your questions. We can talk about anything you want to talk about. That's what we do here on Good Morning Pop Culture. It doesn't necessarily have to be about Star Wars, but it can be. So make sure you guys tune in for that. Tonight, the High Council's on the Geeks and Gamers channel. I'll be there. Doomcock will be there. It'll be a lot of fun. I got a new video that I'm working on. It should be out either later today or early tomorrow, so make sure you don't miss that. And I actually have a handful of videos that I want to produce. So I got a bunch of ideas. I'm really motivated right now. I'm really excited. So thank you, Eric Brown. Thank you for sticking the entire time with Good Morning Pop Culture. Much lower turnout today, but that's okay. Probably one of my favorite episodes because we got to talk about all kinds of stuff. And vacation over European vacation any day of the week. So see you later, Hammer of Crom. Thanks for spending your coffee time with us. I enjoyed my coffee. It's all gone. So, folks, thank you, Logan Michael, for your super chat. I will have a good one. You too have a good one. And Logan Michael, I'll be talking to you soon here on the channel. So thank you to everyone who has helped World Class Bullshitters grow, all the new subscribers. Thanks to all the patrons. Thanks to everyone who's ever been on the channel or sent in questions. We appreciate everybody. And tomorrow, we will celebrate our Independence Day.